For the final time this season, it's game day, Jet fans. New York Jets, Buffalo Bills. I'm not sure if you're going to recognize the players on the field for the Jets. We'll get into that, but we have a game day episode with a special guest. Let's go. One more time this season. It's Boy Green Daily.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this shit.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Leshner Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. We do game day shows every single game, regardless of record, and the Jets are 3-13. But we're still here, baby. So we've got the game day episode today. Again, scheduling note, we've been basically glued to the 1 o'clock slate the entire season, but there's been a change. The Jets will be playing at 4:25. So we're in the late window today. So the rest of the schedule will reflect that. Our watch party, of course, will be in the 4 o'clock hour. Our post-game show is going to be 7:30-ish, 7:45, 8 o'clock maybe. Who knows? And then we'll quickly turn our attention to the Sunday night football game between the Ravens and Steelers in a win-and-you're-in scenario. So we've got all of that coming today. And folks, as we're on our final game day of the season, I just want to say thank you to everyone out there that's been with us for the entire season. Again, wins, losses, or ties. Eventually, one of these seasons is going to result in the playoffs. Not this year, but one year it will happen. No doubt about it. Hopefully, it just happens before I'm dead. With that being said, I see MFC gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership right off the top rope. Salute to MFC. Appreciate that, buddy. That's for our brand new raffle. More on that later. But appreciate you, MFC, for jumping on the train, baby. That's the way to do it. Without further ado, let's get to our special. Well, first off, that membership went to Candyman. Don't say that 3 times in the mirror, folks. At midnight. That could be bad news bears. But let's get to our special guest here on the program. He's joined us for every game day episode throughout the entire season. He's been with us through the lows and the lows, and maybe occasionally a high. It's time for Matt Lombardo, our NFL insider from between the hash marks. Matt?
What's up, boys? What's up, crew? Good morning. The final regular season game. But as we said last week and the week before, it's time for Jets fans to flip the script, change the mindset, because the real season begins tomorrow.
That's true. But before we get there, oh boy, it's going to be very difficult for the Jets to continue to say, no, we're not tanking, because a new bit of information sprinkled on us yesterday. The Jets downgraded Breece Hall to out and Brandon Stevens to out. Folks, this is not some game. This isn't a Key and Peele sketch where I'm throwing random names out there. These names I'm about to read are going to be trotting out on the field for the New York Jets today. Are you ready, Matt Lombardo?
I'm ready. I'm going to see how many I can recognize.
Well, good luck. So here it is. We're going to start in the defensive backfield. We're going to start in the secondary. Brandon Stevens was one of the Jets' starting corners, but he's out. So now here is the starting group. This includes corners and safeties. Jasir Taylor, Trey Brown, Jordan Clark, Malachi Moore, Dean Clark. That is going to be your starting corner safety combination. You should know Malachi Moore. Matt, you gave us the insight during the offseason about you thought he was going to be a gem, and he has been. So salute to Malachi Moore. And Jordan Clark is the son of ESPN personality Ryan Clark, and he's a former Notre Dame Golden Domer. But the rest of this group, Matt, oh boy.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the Sunday slate of games, it's kind of one of those Oh boy, why are the Jets at 4 o'clock? Why are the Eagles playing the Commanders at 4 o'clock? Like, why is the schedule kind of structured the way it is? You had two really, riveting down to the wire games for different reasons last night. The Sunday night game is going to be one that we can really sink our teeth into with the win and in scenario. And obviously, that's the Jets' dream when they turn this thing around over the next couple of off seasons to be in that position. But in the meantime, man, there are a lot of meaningless games, a lot of teams with everything wrapped up, a lot of teams with a lot to still play for, and the Jets are just looking to find a way to root pretty hard for the Giants and to root pretty hard for the Raiders today to see what happens. And I hope you guys get those 2 wins.
Yeah, that would be terrific. More on that in a bit, too, at the tanking. Now, you thought that was bad in the defensive backfield. Well, let's show you the running back room behind door number 2 for the New York Jets. With Brees Hall out, Isaiah Davis is out with a concussion. We now go to Kene Nguanu, our return man. Now he's going to play some running back. Khalil Herbert. And then the Jets upgraded for the practice squad, Raheem Blackshear, who joined this team 6 days ago. Those are your 3 running backs that will be toting the rock for the green and white behind Brady Cook at quarterback. Hey, the good news is the offensive line. This is the same 5 starting offensive line all season from week 1 to week 18. They're the only team in the NFL that's been able to do that. So some caviar at offensive line, but everything else, oh boy. So Raheem Blackshear. Did you have that on the bingo card, Matt Lombardo? Huh?
It is not a great roster. I don't think that anybody was under any delusions that it was, but days like today show you the lack of depth across that depth chart. But again, I think the focus has to be the 5 draft picks, second most cap space in the NFL. Go out, spend big, shop at the top of the market, land the plane on these premium draft picks. But above all else, no matter what it takes, find a way to get the quarterback.
Hey, a couple of quick comment shout-outs. Mad Mert says, 2 days in a row, I'm waking up at 4:30 a.m. to listen. I must love the show. BG rocks. Thank you, Mad Mertz. There's West Coast people tuning into Boy Green Daily Live. God bless you, Mad Mertz. Thanks for the support, buddy. Appreciate that. I see my pops in the chat. Hey, now. That's great to see. And also giving a plug to the brand new Boy Green merch shop down in the YouTube description down below. Coffee mug, $10. Brand new Boy Green t-shirt, $15. So, folks, make sure you jump on that train and hop on in. So, Pop, appreciate the love there. That's terrific. And salute to the amazing Boy Green Coffee Club. And look at that. Pop giving a shout out. Riveting football made this a must move. Jets Bills, America's game of the week slot, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's going to be juicy. We'll see what kind of action we have over here. And he gives a super chat in here, golden super chat. Let's get to that from my old man. Very nice. Every time we get a super chat here from my daughter, Soraya Luna. Wow. Yeah, spread the gospel. We're here on Church Day here. Get your BG merch and post your pics on social. Spread the gospel of all things BG, baby. That's true. If you guys buy anything for the merch shop, tag me at BoyGreen25, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll repost, reshare, do all that jazz here on the program. So hop on, Pop. Appreciate that. That is 3 raffle tickets to our contest. So much appreciated. Let me ask you this question before this is part of the future thing, too. Oh, wait, before I do that, our number one Austrian Jet fan, baby. Now we're getting some rain. Okay. I didn't check the weather report this morning. One Austrian Jet fan. Let's add that to your previous total. By the way, this membership went to, let me get my glasses out here. Tom Ruck. Tom Ruck, welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club, sir. Now, I wonder if we're going to be welcoming this guy to the Boy Green Coffee Club next year. With Brees Hall now out today, that means his 2025 season is over. Has he? I sent out a poll last night. On Twitter. Let me see what the results are up to. We'll see what the fans believe. But I'll turn it to you, our NFL insider extraordinaire, Matt Lombardo. Has Brees Hall played the final snaps of his Jets career? Is that where we're at here? Because I asked on social media last night that very question, and it was basically 50-50 with a slight edge that they believe, the fans, we had a couple hundred votes, that the Jets will retain Brees Hall. They will not let him go, 55% of the votes. So he is a free agent in a couple of months. And I ask you this, Matt, has he already played the final snaps of his career, or will he be back in the green and white in 2026?
Yeah, Brees Hall is a really interesting situation because there's no reason why the Jets should let him walk based on the cap space, based on the resources, based on his value to that offense. But I think when you watch what the Seattle Seahawks do, when you watch what they did last night in San Francisco, when you watch how they won the game against the Rams a couple weeks ago, they lean into those two running backs. And I think that they're the case study. Same with Saquon Barkley a year ago in Philadelphia, that when you're a contending team, there you can overpay for running backs because running backs matter for contenders and playoff caliber teams. And if the Jets want to keep Brees Hall, I could easily see a situation where a team like the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton with a downhill running oriented offense and scheme would value Brees Hall enough to pay him top of market dollar to bring him to Denver to add to what they have in Bo Nix's supporting cast. I could look in Chicago, and I think the Bears are a team that are just dying to upgrade from DeAndre Swift, and you could see Brees Hall really emerge into that David Montgomery type of role in Ben Johnson's system alongside Kyle Monangai, who really burst onto the scene and overplayed his draft position as a seventh-round pick out of Rutgers. Those would be two teams to watch for me, and I think the Dallas Cowboys aren't afraid to overpay for star caliber players, which Brees Hall certainly is. So if the Jets value Brees Hall, I think they're going to have to pay up. But it becomes a situation where you look at the rest of the roster, and you probably still need to add an offensive lineman here. You might need to add one or two wide receivers around whoever your quarterback is. If you don't land Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore, you're going to have to spend big to go and get one, whether it's Malik Willis in free agency, whether it's trading for a guy. So it just comes into when you're building out your team and you're looking at fortifying the secondary and replacing the impact of Quinnen Williams. Do you sink top of market dollar into a running back like Brees Hall? I don't know if where the Jets are in their rebuild, if that's the move. So, yeah, I could see a situation where Brees Hall goes and he's one of the highest paid running backs in the league to a contending team this offseason.
By the way, just to go back to your draft thing real quick, we will know the Giants Cowboys result, excuse me. We will know that one. That one's in the 1 o'clock window. If the Giants beat the Cowboys, it's very simple for the Jets. You lose to the Bills, you have the number 2 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft. So that part is just easy peasy. The part you won't know is the Raiders Chiefs play at the same time as you. So if the Giants lose to the Cowboys, the Giants' path to the number 1 overall pick is technically still alive, which some Jet fans may, because now it's which path. We're at a fork in the road. We'll get to that in a second in a different way, but we're at a fork in the road for the Jets. Would you rather have the number 2 overall pick, and you're guaranteed the second best player in this draft? Or would you rather have the 3rd overall pick with the chance to trade up? I doubt the Raiders would trade with the Jets because they may just take whatever quarterback they're in love with. But the Giants have their quarterback. They may be more interested in a trade. So that is the path for the Jets. I'll ask you that question, Matt Lombardo. If you're the Jets, what would you prefer? If you have the 2nd overall pick and Dante Moore enters, you're going to get one of those top 2 quarterbacks. But if he doesn't enter, you get nothing. You lose, sir. I'm going to go all Willy Wonka on you. You get a whole lot of nothing. But the 3rd overall pick, you have the path to number 1 potentially if you get the right combinations of things. So which would you prefer? Giants have the number 1 overall pick, you have 3rd, or you, as the Jets, have the number 2 overall pick in this class?
First of all, the NFL really dropped the ball here. If we're going to, stagger the schedule to prevent tanking, you put those 3 games in the same window. You put, Chiefs, Raiders, you put Cowboys, Giants, and you put Jets, Bills, all at 1 o'clock or all at 4 o'clock. You really dropped the ball here because now you can have pregame strategery of who's going to play and who's not going to play. But if I'm the Jets, I'm always going to want to be closer to that number 1 spot. I'm always going to want to have the number 2 pick in a 2 quarterback class where I don't have to give up as much to go from 2 to 1 if the Raiders, for the sake of argument, view Mendoza and Moore as like here and here. I don't have to break the bank to go and get the quarterback I want, which is presumably Fernando Mendoza. Whereas if you're number 3, there might be a bidding war to go up and get Mendoza if the Raiders believe that he's the best of the 2 as well. So I always want to be in that slot where I can get a quarterback and it's a little bit cheaper to move up the board.
And to be honest, it makes easier rooting for Jet fans if they choose your path here, Matt, because if the Giants beat the Cowboys, the Jets have the Cowboys second round pick. That's better for
Yeah.
business if they lose. And the Giants winning is also better for business. That's double better for business. So why not worry about the Raiders Chiefs? Where, by the way, even if the Giants got beat by the Cowboys, if the Raiders still lose, they clinch a number one overall pick. And then you're at 3 and you can't trade to number one, which would be a double case of sucka, whatever, a sucka fat one. If we're getting our Stranger Things
it would be really true to the Jets brand if that were to happen, right?
Yeah.
You finish 3-14, and you wind up picking third in a two quarterback class.
Yeah, and that would be painful from everything you just said, and the fact that this would be one of the worst seasons in Jets history. Somehow they've had worse, 2-14 and 1-15, but you would have the third worst season you've ever had in your history and be picking third. Like, in some years that would be good enough to pick first overall, but yet in this particular year you could get effed. So I brought up a fork in the road, Matt, and I think we're past Larry David's allowance for when I could say Happy New Year. I believe I already crossed that threshold here. So take that for what you will. But with that being said, in the theme, you did for the Substack, which we have a direct link to down below. We have the Substack where you did your New Year's resolutions for all these teams in the National Football League. And interestingly, for the Jets, you also had that sort of ideology of a fork in the road and a path to be played here for the New York Jets. So please, first off, give a plug to Between the Hash Marks, and also walk us through this New Year's resolution for the New York Jets.
Yeah, Paul, thanks. Between the Hash Marks is the in-depth home of independent NFL coverage. Every Monday, we have the Four Downs column where we speak to executives and sources and coaches and agents and players across the league to kind of pull back the curtain on how those inside the league view the biggest storylines for the readers. In-depth features each week, the mailbag, the Between the Hash Marks podcast with Mike Tanier and I on Tuesdays. So if you want to level up your coverage for the playoffs, we have some great features. A familiar face is going to pop up in the column tomorrow for Jets fans. And of course, in the offseason, we're going to be in Mobile for the Senior Bowl, in Indy for the Combine. We're going to have in-depth coverage of free agency, the draft, all the rumors, all the speculation, really Jets-centric. And if you check out the direct link below, Jets fans and Boy Green Daily Coffee Club members can save 25% off. So make sure you check that out in the direct link. But as far as the New Year's resolutions go, had some fun with it. New Year's Eve dropped a New Year's resolution for all 32 NFL teams. And for the Jets, it was choose the fork in the road and pay the toll to do so. Because they're likely probably not going to have the number one overall pick in the NFL draft. But you need to figure out the quarterback situation. We can dance around it all we want. We can talk about the rebuild. We can talk about the assets, the cap space, the draft capital over the next 2 years. Nothing matters if you don't have the quarterback. So if you believe Fernando Mendoza is the guy, trade 3 first-round picks and go get your guy. Go get your quarterback and start building around him. If you look around and you think Malik Willis can be a guy who I think there's no downside to signing for the New York Jets, and he has a year of quarterback rehabilitation in the Matt LaFleur quarterback room, go and make Malik Willis one of the highest-paid free agents in the mold of a Sam Darnold or Daniel Jones contract. Go bring him in. You don't need to spend all that draft capital, and if you get disappointed, draft a quarterback next year if you're in a position to do so. Or the other fork is Lamar Jackson. And the speculation that with that contract negotiation coming up and with the potential that John Harbaugh could be stepping out or forced out in Baltimore if Lamar Jackson becomes available, you trade the farm and you go and get Lamar Jackson and you build around him with the cap space to go and get weapons, to go and rebuild the defense on the pieces that they traded away. But the bottom line is we can talk all we want about scheme fits and this position of need and that position of need. Go get the quarterback. Go and get the quarterback before anything else because it's most important and it's the position the Jets have lacked for 30 years.
By the way, there it is right there. It is also in the YouTube description down below. You can join NFL Insider Matt Lombardo Substack at the link, a special discount link as well. So take full advantage of that in the YouTube description down below. Come on, Lamar Jackson would be scintillating. I don't understand any Jet fan that was on social media because there's been some buzz about this about not being interested. I don't understand that at all. Our quarterbacks suck. This guy's a multi-time MVP. Does he have some perceived warts? Yeah, I guess. But again, did you hear the first part of what I had said? A multi-time MVP that's under the age of 30. Like, man, this should be spectacular. This should be the level of quarterback play we haven't had. And like Lamar's just this dynamo everything, run the ball, throw the ball, like he can do it all. So man,
he's a
that
culture
would
changer.
be
He's a culture changer too. If you go all in to go and get Lamar Jackson, that shows that you're serious about keeping pace with the New England Patriots and with the Buffalo Bills. It shows that you're willing to throw all the chips into the middle of the table, get a star quarterback to build around, and you're not stopping there. If you're trading multiple first-round picks for Lamar Jackson, you're also going to go into free agency and you're going to offer George Pickens a contract that the Cowboys can't match because you have the cap space to do it. Or you're going to pay for Alec Pierce to come in and be your number one wide receiver, who I think is going to become one of the highest paid receivers in the sport based on the season that he's had in Indianapolis and the track record he's had there in a limited role. You know, you're going to figure out what to do defensively and bring in some linebackers who change the culture of that defense. But Lamar Jackson is that big first piece. He's the cornerstone of a rebuild, and you can follow, albeit a little bit differently, you can follow the Washington Commanders, you can follow the New England Patriots from going from worst to first pretty quickly when you infuse that kind of a quarterback into your roster.
Yeah, the Jets have failed at every version of quarterback, trading for it, signing it, drafting it. So, you know, to each their own in the universe. If you don't want the draft, which is its own risk because they're lottery tickets, some of them work out, some of them don't. The thing you'd feel good about, and you're paying obviously a higher premium, Lamar, you know what he is. So knowing that and acquiring it, and then there's no guessing game anymore. I wonder how that Lamar Jackson guy is going to work out here. I know he could do all the things he could do. So as long as the Jets surround him with the necessary talent, boy, they should be able to do some dynamic things. So Lamar Jackson is absolutely tantalizing. So we'll see if.
And I know that Jets fans. I know Jets fans are intrigued by Tanner McKee in Philadelphia, and to me, that's as big of a lottery ticket as anything coming out of the NFL draft, right? And I get it. I understand that you look at a guy who's young, has flashed when given the opportunity. Those opportunities have been limited, obviously, by Jalen Hurts being in that building. But I really think that if you're the Jets, you have to be looking at a top of the board blue chip quarterback. This isn't quarterbacking for funsies. This isn't, hey, let's go try and like find our sleeper. You look at Darren Moogie, the GM. You look at the cap space that he has. You look at the draft capital that he has. This is not the time to skimp out on quarterback. This is the rocket fuel that can take you from a bottom feeder in the organization to an offseason that's transformational, that makes you become the Detroit Lions, you know, the year that they went all in. It makes you become the Patriots, become what the Commanders were last year, and hopefully you can sustain it. But I don't think like looking for value and, hey, let's pay a quarterback $3 million and we're going to figure out the rest with all this draft capital. No, get the sure thing at quarterback or the closest thing to the sure thing that you can find.
I like that. Because you brought up Tanner McKee real quick, he's going to be starting in place of Jalen Hurts today. They're resting a bunch of guys. This feels like an audition to the other 31 teams in the league that if he shows some chutzpah with I believe it's 1 year left on his deal, this could be the audition to potentially trade him in the offseason. What are you expecting to see from Tanner McKee today? I know the Eagles are resting a lot of their key starters, but, you know, what do you think?
Yeah, big body quarterback, big arm. He can move a little bit. He's familiar with that offense. He's done some really nice things in the preseason, done some really nice things in mop-up duty late in games. I think he's an NFL starter in this league, but I just look at the situation the Jets are in, and it just seems like they're positioned to land a better option with a higher ceiling than what Tanner McKee offers them.
All right, Matt, let's do this. We're doing this a little bit in the pregame as we were doing our pre-production meeting before the show started. Tomorrow is Black Monday, and there are some Jet fans who are lining me up on social media yesterday. There are people that are. Let me break the fourth wall here for people that don't get to see this. Okay. I'm going to give a shout out to M. Villette in our comment section. On all of my videos, he's been posting 3 days away, 2 days away. He is doing some ritual animal sacrifice dance that AG's going to get fired on Black Monday, and he's doing like a countdown, like a murderous countdown, like someone's calling me in the middle of the night, just heavy breathing, then hanging up about Aaron Glenn is going to go, and I'm like, guys, this is not happening. So I'll throw it over to you, Matt, for him, and also I think it's just fascinating Black Monday in general. How many jobs are going to be open? Who could be open? So I know there's still some more work to be done on your side today of collecting more information on all of these varying jobs, but on AG, on all these guys, and M. Villette's countdown, and several others that have been doing that to my social media mentions. Thanks. What's happening here on Black Monday?
Yeah, and Villette clearly has a vision board with Aaron Glenn getting whacked at the top of the list.
No question.
You know, you and I have talked about this on the show. We've talked about it off the air before the shows in the past. I'm not of the belief that Aaron Glenn is going to go. I don't know how you trade away Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner, the two best players on the roster, and expect the season to go any differently than it did. I don't know how you look at Aaron Glenn and basically say, hey, we traded your two best players. We're going to rebuild, but you're not going to be part of it. But anytime you go 3-13, 3-14, 4-12, 4-13, whatever the number winds up being at the end of today, yeah, there's going to be a conversation. And there's a non-zero chance that Aaron Glenn goes. And I almost wonder if you've seen a lot of ownership groups the last couple of years come out on Sunday night after the game and say, "Oh, Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer are returning, and Chris Ballard will be back, and so will Shane Steichen." On Sunday night, they make these statements to avoid Black Monday. I almost wonder if Woody Johnson doesn't take tonight to survey the landscape and figure out what it's going to look like tomorrow. Right? Because if a Kevin Stefanski is available, if Mike Tomlin steps away from the Steelers after they presumably lose tonight, if you look at some surprise firing that goes down, that all of a sudden somebody comes available that you didn't expect to be on the board, maybe you make the move then. I think there's less than a 5% chance that Aaron Glenn is fired, but yeah, I think there's a chance just based on how this season went.
And Villette, there you go. Everything you've been hoping and praying for on your vision board, you freak. Happy New Year. Again, we're not allowed to say that anymore, according to Larry David, but Happy New Year nonetheless. Matt, we've got, and Week 18 is an interesting place. We have games like this Jets-Bills game. We also have games like we saw yesterday, which were spectacular. We've got Ravens-Steelers tonight, which is a playoff game. One team is going into the octagon. One team is coming out. Or two teams are going in. One team's coming out. That's crazy to me. And all the ripple effects there. Do you think anything happens with Tomlin or Harbaugh? The loser, there's been sort of a theme this week. The loser could have some ramifications or impact. We talked about sort of a little bit about the Lamar Jackson version, but what about the head coaches? What about Harbaugh and Tomlin, mainstays in those AFC North locations?
Yeah, I think for the first time ever, the seats are a little bit warm, right? And I think that loss to Cleveland and the way that it happened and the way that they schemed around Aaron Rodgers not getting sacked by Myles Garrett rather than doing what the Steelers typically do, which made this game meaningful, that's a really dark spot on the Mike Tomlin resume and ledger. And my colleague Mike Tanier, the Two Deep Zone on Substack, he wrote a great column about 3 weeks ago about how that whole 9-8 thing in Pittsburgh is kind of flimsy, because there's been a lot of times where they've kind of backdoored into 9-8 because they lost down the stretch a couple times, or they won some meaningless games they already had the playoff seeding locked up. So it's not like 9-8 has been all that great. The playoff success hasn't followed. So yeah, I think if they miss the playoffs this year, I think there are real conversations that happen in Pittsburgh. And it just seems like there have been some bad vibes in Baltimore. We can talk about the injuries that decimated them early and really derailed their season. I think that's really how it came off the rails for them, that had Baltimore stayed talented and healthy, they had enough pieces in place to make a real run in the AFC. But this is one of the more disappointing seasons they've had in Baltimore in quite some time, even if they do win and get in, just based on the expectations and the pieces they had in place going into the year. So yeah, if they miss the playoffs, yeah, I could see where either Harbaugh looks around and says, it's just not working here, I'm butting up against a glass ceiling, or the Ravens themselves might say, you know what, maybe it's just time for an upgrade, time for a change.
Fascinating. All right, Matt, is there anything else you want to get off your chest before you dip for the rest of your beautiful Sunday here in Week 18 before Super Wildcard Weekend?
It's just been a lot of fun every week. We're going to be a mainstay on the channel moving forward, which I'm excited about. You and I are going to get with our schedules and figure out how we're going to piece that together in the off season. But we'll check in from Mobile in the Senior Bowl. We'll check in from the Combine. We'll be here. And if you want to level up your NFL coverage for the playoffs, if you want to dive into the deep end before all of the Jets news starts flying fast and furiously, come over to Between the Hash Marks on Substack. Use the link that Paul provided for Jets fans only. You'll save 25% off. It's been a fun season. I look forward to an even more exciting offseason for the Jets and the Boy Green Daily Show, Paul.
Hey, off season is where we kill it, baby. So it should be exciting. There's no question about it. Matt, thanks for an amazing season. Thanks for your generosity with time and being on this show. And again, a lot more to come this off season. Should be a lot of fun. Matt, enjoy football today.
You too, brother Ken. Thank you enough for opening the door to you and the family and the coffee club. Really appreciate it. And talk to you further up the road, my friend.
There he is, Matt Lombardo, our NFL insider. Again, down in the YouTube description below is a direct discount link to Between the Hash Marks. I want to answer a couple of questions here, and then we'll go to the phone lines here on a game day episode. I see Yankee 03252. Per Tony Pauline, Tanner Angstra wanted to draft Jalen Milroe in the third round. What is your opinion on this? I love Jalen Milroe coming out of the draft. Now. I think he needed time to marinate and develop, and obviously he's getting that in Seattle behind Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's been the picture of health, and he's just developing behind the scenes. I think he has a chance. That's a home run swing, and those are the kind of swings you want to take at quarterback. Could it fail? Of course. Could it hit? Absolutely, with all the tools that he has. So if Tanner wanted to do that, then that makes me feel even better about Tanner. Then he's got the right – I like the cut of his jib. That's the kind of quarterback you should be swinging on, swinging the fences for. So, yeah, that's terrific news. I like Jalen a lot. We won't know for a while until he will be a success. I imagine Seattle's probably going to even redo the Darnold deal and give him even more money after the spectacular year. And now they're the number one seed, and I'm so happy for Sammy. I was rooting for him last night and glad he won it. Got his redemption a year ago, around this time of year. He was battling for the number one seed. He lost, went to the wild card round as a road team, and immediately got eliminated. And everyone said, Sam Darnold sucks. So good for him to get his redemption arc. And hopefully they go win the Super Bowl. That would be marvelous. I would absolutely love that. And speaking of former Jets, Nanga Iboko here. God bless. Nanga Iboko here says, is anyone rooting for the Steelers tonight? I'm rooting for the Ravens, personally. I think the Ravens could go further in the playoffs, and I want Lamar to get a ring. I like Lamar a lot. He's one of those guys that's checked off a lot of boxes, but not the Super Bowl box, so I'd love nothing more than for him to get a ring. But here's the thing. Let's all be honest with each other. If the Steelers win tonight, we're going to be forever connected to it. How much shit are we going to get if Aaron Rodgers immediately goes to the playoffs after being kicked off the Jets team? Jake Asman, I love you, buddy. I know that rant is coming. If Aaron Rodgers makes the playoffs and that AG, another black mark on the AG resume, it's him moving on from Aaron Rodgers saying he's not good enough. And then Aaron Rodgers immediately proves he is to go to the playoffs for another team. So, Jake, I know that rant's coming, buddy. I know that rant's coming. And he won't be the only one. There'll be others having that rant as well. So I'd like to probably avoid all of that, to be honest. But if in some magical world we remove any of those narratives and Aaron Rodgers is in the playoffs are better with Aaron Rodgers in it. I can say that unbiased. I know there will be Jet ties if he makes it or doesn't make it. There'll be narratives. The Jets made the right decision. The Jets made the wrong decision. No matter what happens. But if he makes it, the noise will be very loud around Aaron Glenn that he made this awful decision at quarterback. To me, regardless of whether Aaron Rodgers, and this is not your question, Nanga, but just to go full circle, regardless of what happens this evening, I believe AG made the right choice. Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Glenn wouldn't have meshed in the middle of this chaos, where if you have Aaron Rodgers to Justin Fields this year, maybe instead of 3-13, you're like 5-11, maybe. I don't think that you drop Aaron Rodgers on this team and everything else is the same, that the Jets are like an 8 or 9 win team. I just don't see that. I don't see that kind of swing. No offense to Aaron Rodgers. I just don't see that kind of swing. I'd say a couple wins, maybe 5 wins, maybe. But like, then what? You have a worse draft pick, and then you're in the same place. I think he made the right choice. So regardless of what happens tonight, if Aaron Rodgers goes to playoffs tonight or does not go to the playoffs tonight, I think he made the right choice. It was an unpopular decision, of course. Aaron Rodgers is a popular guy in the locker room and everywhere else, but I believe the Jets made the right decision. So, no, I will not be rooting for the Steelers tonight. But if they so happen to win, I will be watching Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. I'm going to watch all these playoff games because I'm an NFL fan. But, yeah, I'll be watching with a close eye. There's no question. Foxy, talk about that's on AG's insecurity. I don't blame AG, to be honest with you. I don't blame AG for saying, hey, man, if I'm talking in the front of the room, will people be looking back at you? Aaron Rodgers is a polarizing guy. He's got his own, like, cult army of players that follow him, and he's got the Super Bowl ring and MVPs and all this other stuff. I don't think that's AG insecurity. I think that's AG truth. Like, he's foreseeing the issues that would have existed with Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Glenn in the same room. And I think that was an accurate thing. I think the team could have split. And if you're AG, why do you want the team to split as soon as you take it over? So, no, I think AG made the right call there on that for sure. I think he absolutely did. We'll take more of your comments, and more in just a moment. We're gonna play a quick cap timeout, and your phone calls will be welcome next, right here on Boy Green Daily.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone,
J-E-T-S, Jets.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go! Hey! 1, 2, 3. Whoa! Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone,
J-E-T-S, Jets.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go!
There's the hipster, baby. Let's freaking go. The phone lines are open. Make sure you hit them here on YouTube. If you're watching live, shout out to the people on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, no matter where you're at. We appreciate the support here on the channel. Also, shout out to the people that rewatch this show on YouTube and also the audio-only listeners here on the program. Much appreciated to everyone. We got so many questions and comments. Keep those coming here on the program. Feel free to call in. That's a pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. Let's kick it off with the handsome guitar player. It's Hep, baby.
Hey, guys. Hey, Paul.
What's up, Hep?
So here we are at the end of our journey, this historic season for the New York Jets. And it really was a historic season. I mean, not in a good way, but it was historic.
That is true. That I
You know?
cannot deny that fun fact. No.
And we got to see the Jets at 7-0. I mean, 0-7.
Yeah, right. Yep, I remember that. And we said, oh, is 0-17 going to happen? It's not going to happen, right? And that we had those legitimate conversations. We did, yep.
Right. Now, looking back, are you disappointed we won a couple of those games?
No,
No,
it's
no.
funny. I'm glad that you brought this up, though, because this came up because, we're all doing – I'm not rooting for losses, but if they happen, so be it, and we talk about whatever happens. But I'd be tweeting, hey, folks, if this happens, this is where the Jets would pick. So I try to keep people updated on social media, and a few people have responded, oh, you love that Browns win now, you jerk? And I'm like, I am a fan of the team. I'm never going to apologize for rooting for them to win and them winning. I'm a Jets fan. I'm not going to go back and pull out the lab equipment and say, oh, well, if we would have won this or lost this, it would have been this. No, I've got zero regrets. No regrets, baby. Absolutely zip and pip. So, yeah, again, is it going to suck if all these combinations work out? And Fernando's like the only quarterback in the draft, and he goes to Vegas. Yeah, so it hurt because we've been playing the Fernando song all year, and it felt like somewhat destiny that he could be our guy. So sure, that would hurt, but hopefully it works out in a different way. Either maybe the Raiders go Dante Moore instead of Fernando, and then we still get Fernando. Maybe it goes the other way around, and Dante Moore ends up being the spectacular guy.
Sure,
there's still a lot. Yeah, right. There's plenty of draft talk and everything else to come, so I have no idea what the Raiders are going to do. It seems right now they would go in that direction, but hell no. I'm glad he brought it up. People tweet at me every day. I'm like, no, I'm a fan. I'm not gonna freaking go back and say this or that or the other. No.
So have you been getting any blowback from being like the Aaron Glenn holding Aaron Glenn's line?
Oh yes. Yesterday on Twitter it got very intense.
Oh shit.
And me and Jake got into it a little bit on social media. And I just want to say this off the top. I respect Jake. He's got an awesome show. He's got a massive brand and a lot of people that are fans of him, and for good reason. He's really talented. To me, I just think, Bud used to say, I used to be on this radio show forever, and the co-host of that show forever was Bud Poliquin. He's a longtime columnist. He used to write a bunch of stories in San Diego. They came over here to Syracuse. He wrote stories for a long time. And at a certain point, if me and him got into an argument on the show, I'd be like, oh, God, Bud, it's this. And then Bud has his take. Bud would then say, Paul, let's stop. And I'm like, what? He's like, this is what I like to call a circular conversation. You're over there. I'm over here. We could just keep arguing for the next 20 minutes, but it's over. We're not going to agree. I'm here, you're there, so it's over. And I just went, well, oh, all right. And then just poof, he was able to stop any argument that we had or any fight or anything. And I go to this Aaron Glenn thing. Yeah. Jake wants Aaron Glenn's head on a pike. Yeah. I don't.
Right.
I'm here. He's there. We're going to argue this or that about what people believe in the audience that he's done well as a head coach. I've pointed to things. And then the people that are AG, detractors say, well, those things suck. I'm like, well, okay, if you don't want to listen to the things I have to say, that's fine. But these are the things I think he's done well. You guys don't like them. That's fine. I think it's just your position. You don't want me to say anything that's going to make you consider the other way, which is fine. This is America. We can all have different opinions. I hope we all have different opinions on things. That's good conversation for the show. So I've got a lot of heat for defending AG. And I think Frankie said it yesterday when he called in, we've sort of reached a point, that circular conversation thing, to a different level. I don't think AG's getting fired. I don't think, regardless of what happens today, he gets fired. Now, if he does get fired, people can throw things at me if they want, and I'm going to react to that. I'm not going to pretend like he didn't get fired. Oh, I didn't hear that news. No, if I'm wrong and he gets fired tomorrow, we're all going to go, holy shit, he's fired. Now we're on another head coaching search. But I just don't know what happens. So I feel like Aaron Glenn, I'm like, guys, let's try to focus on the things we can change, the things we can rally around. How do we fix and turn this around? Since I think it's obvious he's not getting fired, but different strokes, different folks.
So what are we looking at today? 4:30? It's a 4:00 start. I mean,
it's a 4:25 start, and no Breece Hall, no Brandon Steve. I thought, because every week, right, I could convince myself, this is the game the Jets could win. And then people say, well, man, if the Jets win this game, they screw up their draft. But now that Breece Hall is out, I'm going to root. We're going to be doing it all together, but like, I don't know how in God's green earth they could possibly win this game with Raheem Blackshear, Khalil Herbert, and Kane Guano in the back. Like, how in God's green earth are they going to score points, let alone win this game? I mean,
Yeah,
oh
I
boy,
don't know.
Taylor, Jordan Clark at defense. I mean, good Lord have mercy. They don't have anyone to cover. They don't have anyone to rush the passer. They don't have anyone to run the ball. They barely have people to catch the ball. I don't even know if they have someone to throw the ball. So it seems very difficult to imagine the Jets at a bare minimum being competitive in this game. We'll see how much the Bills starters play, but the Bills backups, unfortunately, this year to previous years aren't always the same, but previous years, the Bills backups have beaten the shit out of us before. So I'm not feeling great going into this game, to be blunt.
I mean, what the hell? You might as well make it like Globetrotter football. Just go do all crazy, wacky
Yeah.
stuff, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go. It's Globetrotters Generals, and you're just going to town. Yeah, maybe that's a way to embrace it, Hep.
Thanks, guys. See you later
Appreciate
on.
it. There he is. Hep. Yes. So, folks, again, another note for people who said, "Oh, I can't wait for the 1:00 kickoff." Not 1:00. They were flexed out to America's Game of the Week. We're kidding on that, by the way. That's a joke. Not really America's Game of the Week, but they are at 4:25. So all of our coverage will shift, obviously. So a watch party starts in the 4-ish range, 4:10 maybe, and then post game will be 7:30, 8:00. Give or take later tonight. So we'll see what happens there. All right, let's go back to the phone launch. Got a couple hundred people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. Let's keep this train rolling. Let's go to Kyle Clifton. What's up, sir?
What's up, BG? How are you?
Hey, not too shabby.
Listen, my whole thing is if we can't get one of the top quarterbacks in this draft, we have to bring in guys that we can move on past very easily after 2026.
Okay.
That they have to be guys that are pure auditions, low money, no draft, like low draft capital to acquire type guys, where you'd be comfortable, keeping someone like Tanner McKee as a backup if it didn't pan out and you were able to go and draft your quarterback in 2027. So that's why I don't object to Will Levis if the money is right to bring him in to compete. I don't object to a trade for McKee if the draft compensation is right. It has to make sense.
Is Levis a straight up free agent?
I think he's going to be cut.
Oh, okay. There
he's
you
in
go.
the last year of his deal, and I don't. Someone in the chat that said 5th rounder. I think they might even be able to settle for less than that.
Probably, right.
I would be comfortable with that. If it were a 6th or 7th rounder, I'd be comfortable with that trade.
Okay.
But the guy has enough physical talent to bring him in for a year to compete for a role, even if it's at number 2. I'm totally comfortable with that.
Yeah.
We have to just be prepared for a situation where we just need a steward for 2026, because we cannot force this, right? Like, if the guy isn't there for us, I don't want to take Ty Simpson I
agree. Definitely not. No.
But I mean, I don't think we would. But that's like the extreme example. But let the draft come to us. If there's not a quarterback there, take the best player, and let's propel the team forward so we can start to compete, because we weren't competitive at all this year.
Definitely
Thanks,
not. Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you, Kyle, for calling into the show. My only problem with the quarterback plan is like Will Levis is an example that's been brought up. Will Levis, I can't deny the talent, the athleticism, all that crap. He is chiseled from stone. He's awesome. But man, he's a turnover prone quarterback. There's an upside play there, but if I can't get one of the top quarterbacks in this class, that's my primo preferred choice. Fernando or Dante Moore from, I just heard Trevor Sikkema. I wrote a piece about it yesterday, but Trevor Sikkema says that Dante Moore is a perfect fit for what the Jets want to do. And he thinks he is a clear top 3 worthy pick in this draft. And again, I've only seen 3 games maybe of Dante Moore this season, including college football playoff game against Texas Tech. And, interesting. I'm intrigued by Dante Moore. I will have, by the way, a quick preview. Tomorrow, we're going to have a draft expert on the show. Damian Parson will be joining us. He's from Bleacher Report, Draft Network, a lot of different places. And I'm curious to sort of pick his brain about the quarterback class. So you guys can load up your questions. He'll be joining us at 8 o'clock tomorrow. 8 o'clock tomorrow, our draft expert, and we can sort of start diving in here to those conversations. But what they say is that Dante Moore is spectacular. And if that's true and he's in that conversation, great. If you can get one of those guys, that's preferred choice. If you can't, I don't just want, and I'm not saying Kyle was saying this, but just a Will Levis. Like Will Levis and let's go to town. Because that scares the blank out of me. The Jets could have another terrible season with Will Levis. I mean, they basically did before he got hurt, they ended up with like the number 1 overall pick that led to Cam Ward. So I want a little better at quarterback if I could do it. I'd want someone that can try to hopefully help us win games. I want to compete in 2026 and compete. I don't mean compete for a Super Bowl or play. I don't know what that means. I just compete and let's see what happens. Let's have some competitive games here where we're in the conversation. So I want a quarterback that can put us there. I don't mind Kyle's point about you don't want to do another Justin Fields deal where you sign someone to a 2-year deal, $40 million, and then you have guarantees building into 2027 to make it more difficult to operate. I don't necessarily want to do that, but I do want a quarterback that's going to give us a chance. And there should be quarterbacks available that hopefully are able to do that, whether it's a veteran free agency or trade or what have you. Man, I just want someone to, titillate the senses, give us a chance. We'll see if that can happen. Good call from Kyle there. Let's go back to the phone lines. We got Easy OC here. Easy.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, what do we got cooking over here?
Oh, I made some French toast. I already ate it. I made French toast, but I made it with fresh French bread.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Okay. Easy. No expense spared. I like it for breakfast.
Actually, that French bread's cheaper than buying a fucking loaf of bread in the supermarket. Holy shit.
What?
You been there lately?
Wow. No, I guess not. Wow. Okay. Good deal. All right. I got to get some more French bread. I love French bread.
All right. So this whole thing with to be or not to be with Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have to get fired on Black Monday.
What do you mean?
Well, what happens with the scenario of the Steelers taking all the way with Aaron Rodgers?
Like win the Super Bowl, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think Woody Johnson's going to be thinking where I bring this guy in, I have a Hall of Fame quarterback. Because of his ego, he lets him go. And this other team takes a flyer on him, and they go deep into the playoffs, or they win, or they get to the Super Bowl, or God forbid they win the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
How do you justify keeping him then?
Well, if we're to believe, I mean, that would be crazy if that did happen. That would look very painful.
And we are the New York Jets,
right? So that's on the table, I suppose. But people people say that what happened to this hiring process. I don't know if I believe this, but this is what people say: is that Woody told every candidate, if you want to be here, you got to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. And if that's true, wouldn't that be on Woody, not AG?
We would have to know if that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying.
Or maybe, or if you're that much of a pudding head coach that you're gonna, if you got pudding for brains and you believe that taking a guy that's failed everywhere over a guy that's succeeded everywhere is a smart move. Well, there you go. I mean, there's not much you can do with that, but.
I won't lie.
And also, here's the other thing. If Aaron Glenn is so weak-minded and so pussified that he was afraid of having authority because of Aaron Rodgers, then he didn't need to be a head coach in the league, let alone the Jets. If you don't think you're a leader of men and you don't think you can keep your shit together with someone with a strong personality, then you don't need to be a head coach. That is a very, just like I said, it's a pussified decision. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's an interesting way to put it. I would say real quick on your Aaron Rodgers point before that gets lost. If the Steelers make the playoffs, which they would, if they win tonight against the Ravens, they punch your ticket in the playoffs, that's going to be very much in Woody Johnson's face because there's going to be a lot of people screaming from social media, wow, this is the guy Aaron Glenn got rid of, and he's immediately in the playoffs as soon as you let him go to another team that people viewed in a similar light. That Woody's going to catch a lot of shit for that.
Woody's a snowflake. He's a snowflake. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
What happened last year?
What do you mean?
We had the game in London. Woody Johnson was the ambassador to the United States in England.
Yep.
And all of his buddies were there watching the game, all yipping it up. And then the Jets lay an egg and made an asshole out of him in front of all of his English friends and all of his political friends. And what does he do? Comes back to New York, all upset, all pissed off, and he goes, "You basically embarrassed me. You're gone. Bye."
Yep.
So he basically cut off his nose to spite his face.
Sure.
He's never done that before. How long has he owned the team? And how many shit teams has he had? I mean, he never even fired Adam Gase in the middle of a season. And that guy looked like he was strung out on heroin. It is, you know, it was like, woo, all fucked up in his opening interview and his press conference. I mean, come on, man. If he gets embarrassed by this move, Aaron Glenn's toast.
Interesting.
Because there have been so many decisions. Oh, there was a point. I almost forgot this point. Shit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There is a pathway for the Jets to get the number 1 overall pick.
Do tell.
This whole debacle with Max Crosby over in Las Vegas, where he basically outed the team on putting him on IR for no apparent reason, just to tank. And he said, fuck this, I'm not going to stay here and watch this. And he just left the locker room and packed his shit and left.
Okay.
What in the absolute hell? I mean, tanking's tanking. But you don't slap the face of the commissioner of football when you do it.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Are you saying they'd be stripped of the number 1 overall pick?
Look, Roger Goodell's capable of anything. Don't you agree with that statement?
Well, I mean, I guess I did. Yeah. Yeah, but Max Crosby's having off-season knee surgery, so I guess it isn't for nothing.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I thought. Well, I didn't know he was going to go for that surgery.
Well, here's the thing. Again, could he have played? Yes, the Raiders clearly were tanking with that move, but their backing of like never having to prove anything is if Max Crosby, as it seems he's going to get, is some cleanup surgery in the offseason, then that merits the decision to put him on IR, even if it's all bullshit. So.
Oh, okay. All right. I understand. I did not know that he was going to get cleanup surgery in his knee. I didn't know that. I thought they were just saying that, you know, he's got a boo-boo and we're sitting him.
Well, I mean, that's sort of what they're saying, but still, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, is that what they're saying with Brees? He's got a boo-boo, so we're sitting him?
The Brees thing, and again, with all due respect here, but Brees Hall gets hurt at the end of the Patriots game.
Yeah, I saw that.
After the game, he says, I'm good. We don't even need to test. I don't need any imaging. I don't need nothing. I'm going to be good. And then he's limited. And then he's limited. Or he's out and then limited. And then AG left the door open that he could be out, but it just didn't seem to make any sense. Brees says he's not hurt. Like, I guess he could have been lying after the game, but now all of a sudden he's out. Like, that felt like a tanking move too. I don't know.
Well, I think what happened was he didn't want to risk him, and he wanted to see what he has on the bench. Right. Well, to see what you have on the bench, you have to elevate someone from the practice squad, and the only way to do that is to get people off to 53. So you got to get them off to 53 somehow. So you IR them. And it's not like they're forced out for the next 4, this game and 3 games next year. Next year is another season. So they only have to, take them out to give them a roster spot.
But we have 3 running backs. Raheem Blackshear's been here for 6 days. Kane Guano's our all-pro return man. And then Khalil Herbert isn't going to be here next year. So that's the guys they want to evaluate? I don't know. If Isaiah Davis was healthy, that'd be one thing. You want to see Isaiah or Braylon Allen if he was healthy? Okay, that makes sense. But these random other 3 guys don't make any sense.
What's the story with Isaiah? What happened? Concussion. What surgery did he have?
No surgery. Concussion.
He's been out for
the Patriots. He got concussed in the Patriots game.
How many games ago was that?
1. This past game, he got a concussion against Patriots.
That's not who I meant. I meant Braylon Allen. That's who I meant.
Oh, yeah. He blew out his knee in week 4.
He had surgery?
Yeah, he had surgery. Yeah.
What was it, ACL or meniscus? Or
I think it was multiple issues. I think he had meniscus and one of the CLs. whether it's PCL, LCL, ACL, MCL, I can't remember.
Gotcha.
It was meniscus damage in that. And yeah, he could have had surgery or repaired it with just rest, and he chose surgery.
Well, surgery will get you back next season and with no.
I prefer the surgery.
You do the surgery.
Yeah.
You do the surgery and then you do the rehab, and then you're 100% by week 4.
Yeah, hopefully, right.
Shit. All right. Well, you blew holes in a couple of my things there, so
sorry, pal.
That's all right. Hey, I'm just like I said, I'm just trying to figure out shit.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand what we should do in the draft. If it was me, if the quarterback you really don't want is there, fucking trade back. And I don't mean trade back to like 12 or anything. I mean, you've got the number 2 or 3 pick. I'd trade back to maybe 7.
Okay.
Try to get more stuff because, like I said, this next season is going to be pretty much a prove it year as far as I'm concerned. If we keep Glenn, it's a prove it year.
Sure.
Prove that we're not going to get blown out 5-6 weeks in a row. Prove to me that you can be in a game. Prove to me that your scheme will work. Because so far, every decision he's made has been pretty bad.
Not ideal.
No, he's not. I mean, basically, the fork in the road, he's taking the wrong turn each time. I think he took the wrong turn with Rodgers.
Yeah.
Although I was never a big Rodgers fan, but I get that,
Sure.
We have him, use him. Everyone's talking about a bridge quarterback. He was the best goddamn bridge quarterback in the fucking league. And you let him go. I mean, come on now. If you're going to have a bridge quarterback, that's the guy to have.
Yeah.
I mean, you're bringing a kid that is petrified to throw an interception. Unless he has like a college football open receiver, he doesn't throw the ball.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers will throw a guy open just by touching it over the outside shoulder. He's the master of it.
They will get to see it tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be the better game.
For sure. I can't wait. That's going to be awesome. One team makes it, one team doesn't. Someone's going to have jubilation of making the playoffs. Someone's going to be crushed that they missed it. 2 man enter,
1 man leaves.
That's it. Easy. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Easy, for calling into the show. Some interesting thoughts, as always. We got a couple hundred people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. It's a free way to do it. We just recently, let me see what we're up to on subscribers before we get back to the phone lines here. Let me see what we're up to. We recently surged over 8,260 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer to 8,270. We're 7 people away from 8,270. So chip, baby. Chip, motherfuckers out there. Chip. Let's get that action rolling here. So subscribe if you're not already to youtube.com/boygreen25. Back to the phone lines. We've got Dr. Philly Doodles here on the show.
What's up, bud?
Well, what's happening?
No, I just woke up, just getting ready for those easyisms. That was a rant of rants. Okay. I think he could have been on some of that stuff that Adam Gase was on.
Yeah, the heroin, apparently.
Maybe, just a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roger Goodell getting so upset that he spites the team for a pick. Hey now.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Ted. He says one of the things he's going to miss is Easy's game day calls, which of course is the last one for this season. So,
hey, yeah. I mean, listen, to me, in my opinion, 60-40, 70-30, Brees is back, and that's swaying that he's not back to him coming back.
Boy, and that would be a big egg on the face of the Jets if they refuse to trade him at the deadline and then they lose him this offseason. That would look bad. Because like a comp pick is not guaranteed. There's all kinds of things that go into it, and the Jets spending $100 million in cap space is going to very likely result in not a lot of comp picks for the Jets. So, if I'm the Jets, I probably keep him because of all that in some form or fashion. I'm not saying it has to be a long-term deal, but it's probably one of the tags because like I would have had a 4th-round pick for him from the Chiefs.
Free, what was the free 20 during the season?
Yes.
There's no way you don't get a tweet of tweets today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're going to get a tweet. Huge tweet. He's going to He's gonna tweet during. I would assume he's gonna tweet during their conversations too. He's just gonna do whatever he wants. You know what I mean? Just to spoil it up, make it look dirty. Whatever he's got to do to either get out of here or get the most amount of money out of us. Either or.
I wonder how much he's going to get. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be remiss to think that the Cowboys will send out the full squad. I would assume
you think they're going to do backups?
Yeah, I think they'll pull out some players, and then you know what I mean. I mean, you don't want to lose to the Giants in their stadium, but at the same rate, if they win, it's not. It's not
so who's going to win? Get gun to your head, Giants or Cowboys today?
Giants.
Okay, me too. I think the Giants are going to win. Yeah. I don't think the Cowboys are going to go full bore. If they did, the Cowboys could win, but I don't think they are. I think they're going to. I think Jerry let the cat out of the bag. I think they're going to roll over at some point. I don't know how quickly that happens, and then the Giants are going to do what they did to the Raiders last week and go, "Oh, these backups, woo!" And then Jets are like, "Search up." There you go.
Now, unless they feel some type of way about Jackson Dart, it still means you pull out Jameis Winston. See, that's
and even he's very competent.
Yes,
he's going to throw it all over the barnyard. So
yeah, exactly. So it's like, oh well, it is what it is. I mean, Neighbors ain't there, so you're starting all your starters at wide receiver. I mean, that don't matter. And then Tyrone Tracy the third. Come on, man. He's out there like Black Shears out there and Herbert, because you know what, we want to see what we got in him.
Come on, man.
We want to see what
we're evaluating what Raheem Blackshear just meant. I don't even know his jersey now. When I'm doing the play-by-play, I'm like, who the fuck? Raheem Blackshear, of course. Who's that? Khalil Herbert. Who the hell are these people? Not outside of Kane, who I hope Kane's here for a long time. I love the player and all that, and so I hope he's here for a long time. But he's had like 10 carries this year. Like I don't know. Blackshear ain't going to be here. Herbert ain't going to be here. Like I don't know, man. There's nothing to evaluate.
I want to. Hey, dude, I want to see what we got in Jelani Woods.
He's out.
Oh,
hamstring.
Forget about it. Throw it up.
Yep. Jelani Woods out. Actually, let me get the full injury report because it's only fair to get the full injury report here for the Jets. Make sure I have this accurate. Yeah, right. Yeah, the old injury report here. So who's everybody we got out? Ways to watch. Blah blah blah. Yep. Thank you for that, New York Jets. Jets injury report, Week 18. Here we go. All right, so here's everyone who is out. Michael Clemens, sorry, Uncle Indy, out. Ankle. Isaiah Davis, concussion, out. Xavier Newman, he would have only mattered if Joe Tippmann or John Simpson couldn't play, so that doesn't matter, but he's out. Quantez Stiggers, out. Mason Taylor, out. Jelani Woods, out. Breece Hall, out. Brandon Stevens, out. And there's two others that are questionable today, and we will see. Tyrod Taylor has battled the knee, groin, and then the weird personal thing. He's questionable, but he could be inactive because the Jets did sign Hendon Hooker last night. So I'd imagine he's out. Joe Tippmann sounds like by all accounts he's going to play. He was a full participant on Friday. And then the shout out to Chef Kevin Gilbert. They still did not fix this on the Jets injury report. Cam Jones is still dealing with hell on the injury report. Still dealing with hell. Expected to play though, so way to power through, Cam. Appreciate that. That is your injury report.
I'm assuming they're already playing in hell mentally. So
yeah,
I mean, the whole roster blanketed in hell.
Down of hell. Yes.
Yeah, they could just change the color and fonts, just make it all devilish. It's
that'd be
kind of where you're at this point.
Yeah.
So we might be at a moment where obviously Tyrod Taylor is going to be out.
I would assume so.
Yeah. So Tyrod will be out, and then Hooker will be out. So we're probably going to see the Hooker at some point here. Imagine if we get 2 injuries, we get the all-worldly man of the team year award winner, Isaiah Williams at quarterback, right? Isn't he like the emergency quarterback?
I would assume so. He was a 5-star, for those who don't know. Isaiah Williams was a 5-star quarterback coming out of high school. So he would, I would imagine, right? So I imagine Tyrod will be one of the inactives that gets announced 90 minutes before kickoff. So that'll be in the 3:00 range. So he gets listed as out. He's not active for the game, which would mean Hendon Hooker's the QB2 to Brady Cook. And if Brady is hurt and Hendon Hooker is hurt, your emergency quarterback, I would assume, would be Isaiah Williams, which then we'll really see the real MVP and see if he can throw around the barnyard. And if he throws around the barnyard halfway decent, we're like, that was our quarterback the whole time. So, yeah, there's a lot to be unpacked today.
We'll find out if this is a real serious, partial, disguised rebuild by the Isaiah Williams at quarterback move, where Brady Cook and Hendon Hooker both get a little ailment during the game. And that's it. Full tank. Like, imagine you look at the scoreboard and Glenn's like, are you kidding me? And like they're ahead by 3 or they're like down by 3, and he's like, bring in the Williams. Everybody's just like, oh, they're just vomiting on the sideline, Cook and then Hooker.
Unbelievable.
It's what we ate last night.
Yeah, we're getting some Stone Smart love. That's true. Stone Smart, also a former quarterback.
Oh, shoot, so Stone Smart.
He could be in the conversation. Now, thankfully, for those who don't know, now, normally, if you have an emergency quarterback, they're on the roster, they're inactive, but only active if the first 2 guys get hurt. When you go to alternative positions like Isaiah Williams or Stone Smart or anybody, there's no rules for that. So if you want them to randomly play quarterback, you can make that decision. There's no NFL rule against it. Now, it'd just be sort of weird if all of a sudden you're like, hey, Brady, sideline, Isaiah in, and he just starts being the quarterback for drives. You're like, what the hell? So I guess there's whatever that is. But, yeah, that could happen, I guess.
That might be a good wrinkle. We need it to be the same bad play. And I did not want tanking the entire time. Yeah. I want a full tank today. Like, I do not come out here and beat the Bills and prove that we could beat you in the last game you're in your stadium. No. Go beat them the first game that you play them at their stadium.
Yeah, the new one. Yeah. That'd be cool. And I'm in the same boat, by the way. I have not rooted for tanking all year. I've rooted for the Jets to win, and I've been sorely disappointed because they haven't won a lot. And then now we get to this point, and I'm like, the Jets themselves aren't even trying to win. Like, they're not even showing that they're Breece Hall being downgraded out, Brandon Stevens being downgraded out. Like, sure, Brandon Stevens has a neck, so maybe that's more serious. But Breece Hall's injury, I feel like that's all fugazi. That's all tanking. So, like, me as this diehard Jets fan that's going to be watching this game today, like, it's hard for me to go crazy rooting when even you yourself aren't even trying. Raheem Blackshear, like, come on, man. With all due respect, Raheem, I'm glad you're getting a shot here. Good for you, pal. But it's just disgusting. So again, once the game starts, I'm going to be in it and going, oh, I'm hearing the CBS theme or whatever the hell I'm hearing in my ears. I'm like, yeah, baby, let's go. And then I'm going to see what happens. I feel like, oh boy.
I think the reason why it's even at a 4:00 start, 4:30 start, is because it's the last game played at Orchard Park. Like,
that's probably it, I imagine.
Yeah, literally. Because I don't know why else, you know what I mean? Like, and maybe they thought the Jets would have like a semblance of being good, but.
And the other slice is that we had no Thursday night football this week for the NFL and no Monday night football because you try to make it as even as possible for the playoffs that start the following week. So you truncate it. So I imagine we have more 4:00 games than normal. Let me see. How many 4:00 games do we have? I have this in front of me here.
Gotta be like 5 or 6.
Yeah, we have Jets, Bills, Lions, Bears, Chargers, Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Cardinals, Rams, Dolphins, Patriots, Commanders, Eagles, Jesus. Yeah, so we have more than ever. And it's because they've just truncated. So I think part of it is, to your point, I think the Bills' final game, there's some gravitas to that. But I think it's also that, again, our schedule is just truncated. We have an extra Thursday game. We have an extra Monday game. And I think they're just splitting it up for, again, to have some level of fairness for – so some teams don't have advantages playing the 1:00 window. We play on the final wild card date versus this, that, or the other, which are, again, first world problems none of us know about, of course, because – the Jets have been in the playoffs in forever.
I could say, so the last thing I'll touch on what Easy mentioned is that the whole notion of Glenn not being, man enough and capable of dealing with Rodgers on the team. So the only thing I'll say is I think Rodgers played himself out of the team, not the league, but out of our team, probably out of Woody's, whatever, is when he walked himself off the field that game and allowed another and said, yo, go put that quarterback in.
Which, by the way, ironically, was in Buffalo. The Jets are getting their fucking teeth kicked down their throat. And Aaron went to Jeff Ulbrich, said, hey, you think it's time to put in Tyrod? And Ulbrich's like, yeah, I guess. And then he put in Tyrod. Then so we would have never known that interaction unless any of the people involved on the sideline admitted it. So Rodgers, Ulbrich, or Tyrod, I guess. Tyrod would have never said it. Ulbrich, unless he just dumbly said it by accident, wouldn't have said it. So the only reason we knew is Aaron cavalierly, making up that word, went to the press conference and just admitted it. We were wait, what? You tapped your own side of the helmet and said put him in because it's fucking blowout? What?
Yep.
So yeah, he did that to himself.
And I think people don't understand, right? Like, so we don't like Woody meddling, right? Wasn't that a thing? That was a theme for a while. I mentioned this last week, or earlier this week. But we wanted to meddle right now into the situation of fire Glenn, right? So my thing is, the reason why, you know what I mean, the meddling thing is bad is for other circumstances, like via the Mike White situation. We come to find out from Rossini, he went into the fucking locker room and told that guy, "You effing suck. You great job. You ruined." Like, okay, so that moment there lets you know one thing. We think he could be dumb, but we do know one thing: he's watching.
Of course,
so
right? Yeah,
he's watching. He can't go tell Aaron Rodgers, "Hey, asshole, don't ever go into one of our team's fucking sidelines and tell them, hey, check me out of the game or you'll never play here again."
Yeah.
He doesn't have to say that. He's Aaron Rodgers. So without having to say anything, it was like, out of here, bro. Like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Like,
yeah, and also I just don't think the pussifying. Let's put that in the dictionary. Thank you, EZ, for that one. The pussifying here. If I'm AG, I don't think that's a pussy thing. I think that's a real thing. He's like, I don't want my locker room to split. Aaron Rodgers is a polarizing guy. He's got a lot of people that are for him and love him, and of course, and I was in that funk when he was here. Like, it was exciting. Wow, this guy has credentials. We suck, and this guy has credentials. He's our leader. He leads us to wherever we're going to lead. So it's a captivating aura like thing around Aaron Rodgers, which is really cool and interesting. And that could split. We saw it for Quinnen. As soon as Aaron Rodgers got announced that he was going to be fair, Quinn's like, fuck me, another rebuilding year. He was clearly a pro Rodgers guy. There's a lot of pro Rodgers guy on the roster, I imagine. So, no, I don't think it's a pussy thing. If I'm AG, I think it's straight up, hey, man, if I'm at the front of the room, other people are going to look at you to make sure that they should be buying the message I'm selling. If you give them a look like the Godfather, like give him one of these, and then like no, then all kinds of shit could have hit the fan. So if I'm AG, I'm not jeopardizing my first and maybe only chance at ever being a head coach because we have a polarizing quarterback in the back of the room that's going to be here shorter rather than longer. He's at the end of his career for what? No, I'd rather go in a different direction. And Justin Fields sucked, and he has blood on his hands for that failing. But I reiterate, I think he made the right choice moving on from Rodgers.
Yeah, I think that's not a pussified situation. It is partially, I think, what we're talking about. I think, Woody's like, nah, bro, I can't curse at you like Mike White because you're a future Hall of Famer, but we can just get rid of you. It's pretty simple.
But the Jets will get shit. If Aaron Rodgers punches his ticket to the playoffs tonight, the Jets will get shit, AG will get shit, Woody will get shit. That is going to happen. If that happens, that a guy, as soon as you ditch him, he goes to the playoffs immediately. Yes, the Jets will receive a lot of shit for that.
And that's mostly fan base shit. The pundits, the pundits out there, sports writers. What are you gonna like? Come on, man! Like, what are you gonna say? You just took a gamble on Justin Fields. Is what it's going to turn out to be. Samini's not going to be like, well, he might pull out a nugget, but it ain't going to be to his detriment. Like, I'm sorry, everybody. Like, let's relax. It's not going to be to the detriment. Look what we were playing with this year. If you had Aaron Rodgers on the roster, everyone's like, you definitely had Devontae back. No, you did not. He didn't even want to go to Pittsburgh. Okay,
right.
He went to Stafford. And Stafford looked better than Aaron Rodgers, correct? Like, this is not like a light bulb theory. This is common sense. So, I mean, that wasn't even a foregone conclusion. Period. End of story. So, I think all that has to be dialed back down. And if people come forward, it's going to be fan base mostly anyway. And we always have something to complain about. We're fans. It is what it is. Last thing I'll ask you. I don't want to take up anyone else's time that can come on, but so what are you thinking if they decide to not move up from 3 to 1 or 3 to 2 for cost, stick and pick? Do you think they go for the Murray sweepstakes and go, Chambliss backup or someone else as a backup?
I think, my gut tells me the Jets are going to end up with the number 2 pick today. I believe the Giants beat the Cowboys, Jets lose to the Bills. I believe the Jets will have number 2, Raiders will have number 1. Raiders will take a quarterback. Who it is, I'd assume right now it's Fernando, but maybe there's something that changes. They take Dante instead. Some people have argued that. If I'm the Jets, I'm going after a veteran, and a veteran with chutzpah. Like you're asking me about Kyler. Like Kyler's resume is impressive. He's done things that no Jets quarterback has done in forever. The things that sort of freak me out is the leadership stuff. There's been some accusations about that in Arizona. The Jets, they've got better people and security people than me. You got to vet if that information's true. If it's true that there's all kinds of leadership fractures, then that sounds probably like the wrong kind of guy to bring in. But if that stuff tracks and that stuff is you clear that, like, oh, that was all bullshit, just made up rumors, Kyler is going to likely get cut, and you can have him for dirt cheap. Now, there's going to be a lot of competition for these guys, right? Lamar, if he gets moved, Kyler Murray. Do the Cardinals blow up their entire quarterback room? Is Jacoby Brissett available? Rich Cimini mentioned him as a potential trade target today. But if I'm the Cardinals, why would I get rid of Murray and Brissett? My two guys remaining on the roster are Keaton Slovis. Who the fuck? And then Logan Woodside. It's like players playing for the Jets today in Week 18. Who are these names? I have no idea. So, I don't know. So, long story short, would I be interested in Kyler? Yes, I would potentially be interested in Kyler, but I'd want to vet that leadership stuff to make sure that's true or false.
Yeah, that leadership thing, that would be tough. But
yeah,
Philly? Man. It's all. Yeah, yes, sir. Have a good weekend.
Appreciate you. There he is. Philly Doodles, baby. I'm sure we will see him. He'll be calling into the show, I'm sure, for the play-by-play action coming up. 300 people in the room. Like the video, folks. Let's keep rolling. Hey, look at this. Mikey's here. What's up, Mikey?
How you doing? I think Baltimore's gonna beat the Steelers, right?
Me too. I think so.
Aaron Rodgers gonna retire and join the CBS Fox network.
Oh, cool! All right, nice.
And then the Jets gonna lose. The Giants gonna beat the Cowgirls. and then we go get that guy McKee. I heard that he's pretty good for the Eagles.
Yeah. We're gonna see him today. He's starting for Philly today.
What time that start?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me see. I got it in front of me here. Let's see. That is Eagles Commanders. Where the hell was that? Was that one of the 4 games I mentioned? It is 4:25. They play at the same time as us.
All right, I can watch both games. One on the small computer and one on the big computer.
That's it, Mikey. There you go.
And then if we could do that, get McKee, and then up for the 5th round, because dude, use all our draft picks.
Yeah, I like the cut of your jib, Mikey.
And then if they don't need to call it back, I want that guy from Miami Hurricanes, the defensive guy.
Oh, Ruben Bain?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right,
He's
sure.
Like a monster. He's like a monster ready to happen.
Yeah, we need some monsters.
From Florida, even the guy from Florida, the Florida guy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then we could get my receiver, Boston, for Washington.
Oh, yes, Boston. Yeah, let's put him on the opposite side of Garrett. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, they like be homeboys together. They like homeboys.
I like homeboys. Sure, homeboys. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. How's your dad doing?
Oh, he's doing great. He didn't call into the show today, but he called in yesterday, which was nice. So he seems to be doing just dandy. How is you and the family doing, Mikey?
Oh, good. My Aunt Kathy passed away.
Oh, geez. I'm so sorry, Mikey.
That's my mom's sister.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, pal.
Yeah. My Uncle Pat decided to be a Buffalo fan. That got me even sicker.
Yeah, that's making me sick right now.
Yeah,
disgusting.
My cousins like the Jets.
Okay, good.
And I adore them.
They have good taste. Good taste. Yeah.
And I promise you, the Jets were turning around by this weekend.
Okay. Oh.
No, I'm in the draft. When the draft comes.
Yeah.
Already. If we can get Mendoza, I don't think we go get Mendoza. You?
You don't think we're gonna get him?
Yeah.
Maybe Dante Moore then.
Yeah. Yeah, he fits. I think he fits the Jets. Fits the Jets offense.
Well, yeah, I need a good quarterback. So if he's that, he fits. Yeah.
Because I know, you know who the number 1 pick. You know who's that guy? Is Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah, Tom Brady. Oh, boy. Brady.
Yeah, he hates the Jets. He won't trade that number 1 pick to the Jets.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you're right.
If that happens, we could. Yeah, if we could just get McKee, if the offensive coach say he wants him, so let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's go, Mikey. Give me a JETS chant, baby.
Can I get your Jets chant?
Yeah, let's go.
JETS, 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 Jets. We go lose.
All right, give it to me one more
30.
time, Mikey.
Oh yeah, JETS, 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 Jets. You guys like my mustache?
Yeah, that's nice. You're getting a lot of comments you're getting a lot of love in the comments. People are saying they love the stash.
And then Aaron Glenn, this is my prediction next year. Aaron Glenn's going to be 14-3 next year.
Wow. Holy crap. All right. Yeah. Sign me the hell up, Mikey. Yeah.
Yeah, and they go have some real good players. I think Aaron Glenn acts stupid all year, but he has a plan. He's not as stupid people would think he is.
Okay. Well, we can only hope.
He was with Bill Parcells, remember?
Yes, yeah, in Dallas. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and with the Jets. Yeah.
And then this is what I think.
Okay.
After Bill Parcells should be a consultant with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And he could sit in the locker, have a meeting with them. Say the Jets will come back, I guaranteed. I put Rex Ryan as the defensive coach. Holy cow. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Rex Ryan will be back. He
okay.
Won't be, and the Jets will be #1 defense.
Ooh, I would love that. It's been a while since we've been the #1 defense.
I don't see Rex Ryan that much on ESPN.
No?
No, I think he wants to go back to the Jets.
I think you're right. That'd be sweet, Mikey. Let's hope that happens, huh?
Yeah, so you're coming up to Brattleboro?
We'll have to see when we are. Hopefully I'll come up over the summer. I'll have to link up with you there, Mikey.
Yeah, I work at the Brattleboro Hospital store, right?
Yes, right.
You guys can meet me there.
That'd be cool.
I should give my number to you.
Yeah.
But yeah. I have to give you my number. You want my number?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it right now publicly, but we'll work behind the scenes and you'll get it to me, okay? Just in case. We don't want a million people getting your number, okay?
Yeah, Nick Shine has my number.
Oh, okay, great. I'll talk to Nick, and Nick will give it to me that way, okay, Mikey?
Yes, because I want to see you guys when you come up.
That'd be great. We'll make it happen. So you're the best, Mikey.
And we could go to a game, Jet game.
Okay,
I want to see the Jets against the Poop Mafia.
Okay, we'll put that on the list, buddy. So I appreciate it. Mikey, you enjoy the day, brother.
You too. It's great to see you, brother.
Great to see you, too.
I
love you, Mikey.
And your whole family.
Love you too, pal. You're the best. Mikey joining us here on the program. That's terrific. Man. Love Mikey. That was awesome to have Mikey here on the show. Every time it's a grand surprise. That's terrific. Mikey, you're the best. We'll have a surprise for you in a little bit. I'll get to that in just a little bit. We got a couple of other callers. Let's get to everyone here. Up next, Ricky, New York Live, baby.
Dude, Mikey's my homeboy. I love Mikey. I also have Mikey's number if you need it.
So, okay, good. Yeah, I just didn't want him to belt it out over the air. Who knows? There's a lot of crazies out there.
Did he just say the Poop Mafia? Oh my goodness, that made my morning. That was awesome. And by the way, speaking of the stash, easy. Like, dude, I think you're putting the wrong kind of mushrooms in your omelet this morning, dude. I think those the ones you used are the ones you had in the freezer since Woodstock. My goodness. I'm not even going to address that Aaron Rodgers take.
Okay.
Dude, like, we did the right thing with that. Like, could you imagine, like, Brees would have never hit 1,000 yards because he would have checked out of all the running plays. It would have been all about him. Throwing guys under the bus because nothing is ever his fault. Like Aaron Glenn, you can criticize him for a lot of things. That was not one of his mistakes. He absolutely did the right thing with that. As far as us tanking, like, dude, shutting down Brees, Stevens, like, I think it's pretty obvious we're tanking. But if it's still not obvious to some people, let me throw this out there. We're missing 2 out of our 3 starting corners.
Yeah.
With our record, we easily could have snatched up Trayvon Diggs off of waivers if we were trying to win.
Sure.
We would have owed him what? 1 game check, and that's it.
Yeah,
and then
$500,000. Yep.
Yeah, no commitment after that. So the fact that we didn't even try to put in a waiver claim for him, pretty much, I think, says a lot, considering the shape the secondary's in. So, it sucks that we're even having a tanking discussion at all. But let me tell you what. And by the way, it's too bad that guy's still dealing with his hell injury. Initially, I thought that was a heel injury, but apparently it's gotten worse, and now it's hell. But
that's right.
Let me tell you what. I had a really interesting conversation last night with Connor Long on the show.
Okay.
And let me tell you what.
Hey, real quick, here is the surprise for Mikey. Here is the latest edition here. Here we go.
Jets, Jets.
Here we go.
That's
Jets, Jets.
Woohoo!
That is awesome. But yeah, so Connor came on last night, and at one point, because it was kind of a unplanned thing, I just kind of reached out to him yesterday morning, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I'll be there." And during the day, like in between that time, for a couple times, I thought, like, man, I wonder if I should just shoot him a message and tell him what kind of topics I want to cover, what kind of players I want to cover, coaching prospects, etc. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Connor doesn't need a cheat code. Like, he is so well read, and he does his homework, does his research. And man, I gotta say, absolutely one of the best guests I've had on my show. Like, dude, everything. If it was Al Harris, Deshae Townsend, I was like, are you one of the 2K guys? Be it, Clint Kubiak or Cliff Kingsbury, and he's like, oh, I'm absolutely a 2K guy. But dude, every name I threw out, whether it was a player, a coach, dude, he gave these long, in-depth answers that he knew the background of everybody, where they came from, where their prior experience was, and not having any idea what I was going to say or what I was going to ask him. It was really impressive, the answers that he gave. And
he's an impressive kid. I think he has a very, very bright future. And eventually, right, I think what helped Connor at first is wow, look at this kid. People keep calling him, doing all this stuff. But I think he is quickly developing into his own journey. Not a kid. He's developing into a man and journalist and reporter and podcaster and everything else. So the evolution's been pretty incredible for the young man.
Yeah, absolutely. But I would encourage anybody who didn't catch that live last night to check that out and give it a watch.
Which, by the way, Ricky, where can they check that out?
Ricky New York Live, right here on YouTube. And
okay.
Yeah, man, it was a really good, a really good back and forth, just a really good fluid conversation, and had a great time talking to him.
Awesome.
There was a lot of good insight, and just like when I threw out Al Harris, he was like, oh, I did a whole separate feature on that myself. And man, he started going into it, and he's like, listen, the last 2 places he was at, in Dallas, he got promoted there. He took that secondary from being okay to being really, really good. Named the players that then went on, and then he moves on from there, took another bad secondary and made them really good. And just everywhere he's been, he's taken a bad secondary and revamped it and made it one of the better ones. And man, like I said, he's impressive with the amount of knowledge he's got. And you know, dude, we're all football junkies. Like, you know, all of us can talk ball on a pretty good level, but to have the kind of knowledge that he does, like, you know, like some people will sit there and you can ask them questions like that. They're going to be sitting there Googling and stuff. There wasn't no Google to Connell's game. Like he just knew all of it right off the top of his head. And it was awesome. Dude, listen, I am ready to put this season to rest and get it done and over with. I'm not going to address the quarterback thing because, listen, a lot of these guys, you know, initially it was a conversation, I think, about the kid from Ole Miss.
Oh, yes.
And they said, like, you know, does he need to win the Natty in order to come out? And Trevor and Connor both said, like, believe it or not, they've heard from several of these prospect guys that that's a real thing. Like, you know, win the Natty, go to the league. Don't win, want another bite at the apple. So, you know,
interesting.
We may not really truly know who those quarterbacks that could be on the board are going to be, but I believe it's the 14th of January that we will find out by.
Right. So there's a double dip for people. There is the 14th. That's 100% correct. And for obviously people get a grace for the national championship and how deep they get to the college football playoff. I believe the second one is around the 23rd is the second deadline date, which obviously is extended. You know, for those like, hey, quit on your team right now and go to the league or not. Like, no. So they have a bonus deadline for the teams that remain alive as we go through this thing. So I believe the second date is around the 23rd.
Absolutely. And once again, I think we made the right move getting rid of Aaron Rodgers. And easy, if you want to know what a real pussified move is, it's taking yourself out of a game just because you're getting your ass kicked. And instead of worrying about letting your teammates or your coaches down, you're worried about getting your rock star self hurt. So, but you know, I do agree with something that he said, and I don't know if it would be the Raiders, but this is something that irritates me all the time. All throughout the year, the teams have to put out injury reports. And then every time the year ends, you hear players come out and go, oh, well, I was dealing with a MCL sprain all year. Oh, I was dealing with a torn pec all year. Well, why the hell wasn't it on the injury report then?
That's a good point. Yeah.
That always irritates me. And I'm not saying that some guys are excuse making for poor performances, but like, if you're hurt, it needs to be out there. If you weren't, then, you know, you should probably not say that you were. But yeah, that whole thing kind of irritates me. But listen, man, like it's really obvious that some of these teams are tanking on purpose. And
yeah,
God, that Chiefs Raiders matchup is going to be absolutely awful to watch. We're going to get some bad football today from some teams. And if it wasn't Raiders. Yeah, if it wasn't for the draft thing, I would, you know, probably be pissed that we're probably going to get another bad one from us. But at this point, I'm just willing to accept it. And, you know, I've said it before, man, like the fact that we're even talking about Brady Cook versus Hendon Hooker, like, oh God, like my stomach just rolled just even saying that. Like, how the fuck did we go from having Tim Boyle, you know, to now having Brady Cook? Like, I mean, we really, truly are in quarterback hell.
Yep.
Man, like, God, I want to get a guy. And funny enough, Connor actually really liked my idea of bringing in Willis and Dobbs together and having two guys that already have pre-existing chemistry. So,
oh, Romeo Dobbs. At first, I thought you meant Joshua Dobbs. I was like, oh, yeah, he's a rocket scientist. No, yes, Romeo Dobbs. Yes.
No, Romeo Dobbs.
Yes, right.
His, Dude, I mean, think how nice that would be. First of all, it would eliminate a need in the draft where you don't have to use one of those high picks on a receiver. And then you could have like Mitchell and Dobbs on the outside and let Garrett just work the slot and eat people up. Like, dude, that would be really nice.
Yeah.
And you know, say AD Mitchell is, you know, up and down, kind of like he has been so far. We got 3 picks the following year. Welcome Jeremiah Smith. Goodbye Mitchell. Could you imagine that? Like, oh my goodness. Like, and that's the other thing. Like, in recent memory, obviously our most, you know, impressive draft was the Sauce, Garrett, Jermaine, Brees draft.
Correct. Yeah.
Prior to that, the biggest, most impactful one we had like that, Aaron Glenn was here as a player that year that we got Abraham and Ellis and Pennington and Beck
2000, sure,
all in the first round, and then Lavernius Coles later. Like, he saw firsthand what a draft like that can do to turn around a team and to help a team. And he set us up to not only have one more draft like that, but 2 in a row like that. And so I you know, and people always say like, oh, but do you really trust this regime to make these picks? Guess what, people? If it wasn't for this regime, we wouldn't have those picks. Okay. Correct. We would probably still have Quinnen out there loafing and not putting in a good effort. Sauce still not intercepting anything and falling on his face for us instead of Indianapolis. Like, I'm perfectly okay with it. And I think it's amazing that they were able to do that and particularly get that kind of capital back for those 2 guys. We weren't winning with them. So, I mean, I know we've had to take our lumps this year and it's been painful, but I really think we're headed in the right direction. You know, like Muji and Glenn, they made decisions when they got here. And I've said this before, based on tape, what they saw. They didn't know these guys' personalities. They didn't know their work ethic, and they misjudged on a couple of people. And you know what? As fans, I think we've misjudged some of those people. I think we've overvalued guys like Quincy, you know, who, like I told Nick Shine last night, that guy couldn't cover a BB with a blanket. Like, good Lord, man. Like, his coverage was so friggin' bad, particularly in Jacksonville. I am ready to move on now. So, you know, as they learned the team and learned the dynamics, learned the guys, saw what was working, saw what wasn't, they got rid of those 2 guys. They brought in Briggs. Briggs has been comparable to Quinnen since he's got here.
Yeah.
You know, AZ Thomas, you know, prior to getting hurt was looking really good. You know, all along, AG has said, and I've got to look at myself. I need to do better. He's not denying a lot of the things that we've said. He needs to be better, and he knows that. But, you know, like I said, bringing in Mitchell, bringing in Briggs, like when he's seen problems, he's addressed it. He's done something about it. You know, it wasn't like Saleh knowing we didn't have a backup quarterback and doing nothing about it. You know, and or knowing that our kicker was just awful and not doing anything about it. At least he's addressing problems. And so I think the fact that they said there's going to be a shakeup on the offensive coaching side of the ball is a really good thing. And like I said, I just, you know, spewed out a bunch of names a few minutes ago, but I think that that's a good sign that they know that that's an issue and they're looking to fix it and bring in some people to develop this young quarterback. So all I can say is let's not go Jets. It's weird to say that, but and God, I never really thought I would say go Raiders, but I guess that's where we're at. But at the end of the day, I don't care. I just want to get our quarterback. Let's get this thing turned around. And everybody have a great day. This season is finally over. When we wake up tomorrow, it'll be the off season for the Jets, the time of the year that we always win. So let's go Jets, 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 Jets. Thanks for having me, Paul. Great as always.
Thank you, pal.
Jets, 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 Jets.
That's it, Mikey. That's it, baby. Yes. By the way, 2 draft classes I want to give a shout out to. Ricky was giving some shout outs to draft classes. Our back-to-back classes in 2006 and 2007. 2007, we traded up for Darrelle Revis, Hall of Famer. Second round, David Hitman Harris. Chancey Stuckey there at the end of the draft as a 7th round wide receiver. I love Chancey. And then 2006, of course, we had our double dip of our offensive linemen, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, Nick Mangold, God rest his soul. Kellen Clemens, our longtime backup quarterback. Our boy Eric Smith in the secondary. Brad Smith, Leon Washington, Drew Coleman. Oh, yeah, baby. Those are the days. 2006, 2007. Also a pair of good draft classes for the New York Jets. Throw some love over there as well. Let's go to another caller. Hey, look. It's Alon.
Hey, what's going on, Paul? Long time no speak. Couple of comments.
Yeah, do you have a voice? What's going on?
Yes, I don't feel good, but that's fine.
Okay.
Let me put the Aaron Rodgers conversation to bed.
Okay, please.
I never understood the people who wanted him back. What was their ceiling with Aaron Rodgers? I never understood it. 7 wins, by some miracle, 8 wins. Again, there's nothing worse in sports than being mediocre.
Right.
And when you're 7-10, you're nowhere. You're in no man's land. I'd rather be where they are right now at 3-14 with all that draft capital. So to me, it never made sense to bring Aaron Rodgers back. And if he wins tonight, it's fine. They'll be like every other recent Steeler team. They'll make the playoffs and they'll get blown out in week 1. Okay. So that's the bottom line. Either Houston or Buffalo will go into that building next week and blow them out. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that'll be a bloodbath. Yeah, okay.
My major issue with Glenn this year is the way he approached this season. I always looked at this being year 0. It wasn't really year 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he came across very cocky with no reason to be that. In his pressers, he pumped his own chest to the point where he became very unlikable. And the problem in the second half of his season is players started to tune him out. And that's my major issue with him going into next year. Again, I would one and done him because I think it's going to be really difficult for him to attract free agents this offseason unless they overpay him. I don't think he has the greatest reputation around the league. I really don't. And if you're a free agent like a Linderbaum or a Pierce, and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know if this coach is going to be here next year in terms of 2027, why would I sign a 3 or 4 year deal to stay here or to come here? It makes no sense. So again, if there's any thought of the Jets thinking about bringing him back or firing him, again, I'd rather fire him early than wait till late. And,
sure. It's a solid thing. We said a couple, the previous regime. If Woody, you weren't pot committed. Obviously, if you're firing after 5 weeks, you weren't pot committed to him. Then you should just ripped off the band in the previous offseason. You set us back forever. I want to bring this up because I see our mutual buddy Jake. Not that Jake, the other Jake. If the Stefanski news is true, it sounds like he's going to be fired. Jake says, fire Aaron Glenn tomorrow and hire him. Are you on the Kevin Stefanski replacement train if that was possible?
He'd be a possibility. He'd be an option, definitely. Again, my hope is to bring the band back together from Denver. I would keep Muji as GM. I would hire Kubiak as my coach, and I'd hire Jim Leonard as my DC. All 3 of those guys worked together in Denver a couple of years ago. That's what I would have as my coach, as my trio, more so than Stefanski.
By the way,
I think if I was
Stefanski, come on, 7 wins the last 2 years.
I would take a year off.
Well, yeah, take a year off, Stefanski, but 7 wins over the last 2 years. Get the hell out of here, Stefanski.
Yeah, I would wait another year on that. As far as the draft, I'm in the complete minority here. Okay. I want the Raiders to have the number 1 pick, and I'll tell you why. I don't want the Jets to be tempted to give up 3 1s to the Giants to go get Mendoza. And I think that's what it would take to get him. As much as people like, oh, it's not going to take that much. Yeah, it will. The Giants would absolutely try to fleece the Jets. And I don't want the Jets to be at that point where they're going to be so desperate that they're going to have to trade the farm to go get a guy that I think is good, but I don't think is a franchise quarterback.
Come on, haven't you been wowed by this college football playoff run? He's been Mendoza-ing all over the place. It's been beautiful.
Okay. You've watched Indiana a lot, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Cignetti is the most important thing to Indiana, okay?
Oh,
Cignetti is the number
spectacular.
one.
Yeah, of course.
Then you look at the running game in Black and Hemby. Those two guys lead their offense.
Terrific.
Then you look at the Indiana defense, who has been stellar throughout the entire season.
I love Indiana's pass catchers too, just to give some love.
And then you look at Mendoza. I think Mendoza is a great system quarterback for what they are doing in Indiana. I don't know if he's a guy that's going to be a top 10 quarterback in the league. I don't. I know people have looked at comparisons of Matt Ryan.
I heard that.
I'm still in the Kirk Cousins camp, and the idea of trading 3 number ones to go get him is asinine. So I hope the Raiders get the number 1 pick. I do.
By the way, for the people that are slamming the Matt Ryan comps, it's not you, it's in the comments. He was a fucking league MVP and he's a borderline Hall of Famer. Who, if you get Matt Ryan as a number 1 overall pick, you just won the quarterback lottery. Matt Ryan was spectacular during his career. So I don't get the shitting on Matt Ryan. What the hell?
Matt Ryan was a very good quarterback. I never shit on him. I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But I always think I think Mendoza is a comp to Kirk Cousins, and I'm not trading all that capital to go get him.
So do you think the Raiders would be making a mistake by taking Mendoza number 1?
I think it's in terms of the Raiders.
Yeah. So the Raiders. So you're saying that what you think Mendoza is, and I'm saying, okay, let's put the Raiders hat on. Raiders take him number 1 overall. You think they're making a mistake taking him?
I think the reason why it makes sense for that is they just need a change of image. And I think Brady looks at Mendoza as someone very similar to himself in terms of image. And I think it makes sense. I have no problem with the Jets if they were picking number 1, taking the quarterback. The major problem I have is giving up all that draft capital to get him.
Okay? Who's going to be the next Raiders coach?
A guy I mentioned, I would not be surprised if Clint Kubiak takes that job.
In division. Wow. Okay. That'd be
I would not
be to Sean Payton.
What do you mean in division?
Yeah, AFC West, right? You're saying
Kubiak is the offensive coordinator in Seattle.
No, I know, but you're saying bringing all the Broncos guys over, I assume. Your plan's the same, isn't it?
I think Kubiak might. I don't know if Muji would go there.
No, not Muji, but I just meant like Jim Leonard and stuff, like the majority.
I could see that, yes. I could see if he has a relationship. I know Kubiak's now the OC in Seattle.
Seattle, correct, right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As far as the number 2 pick, let's say the Raiders get the number 1 pick and things remain status quo.
Sure.
And the Giants pick 2, the Jets pick 3, and the Cardinals remain in the 5 spot.
Mm-hmm.
I see more than likely the Giants making a trade with the Cardinals than with us.
Why is that?
I think the Cardinals would give up more than what the Jets would.
But they don't have more though. What? They don't have a second number 1, do they? And don't they only have original picks?
Number 1 next year.
To go from what? Oh yeah, so 5 to 2. Well, wouldn't the Jets give up multiple ones to move up from 3 to 2?
I would. First of all, would you? Let me ask a question. If you're the Jets and you're sitting at 3 and the Giants are at number 2, you're giving up a 2027 1 to move up 1 spot?
No.
Okay.
I think the conversation would
the Giants
be.
Will want.
Well, I'm sure that if I'm the Giants, by the way. I respect the game. I handshake the Giants. The Giants are going to say, hey, Jets, we're going to try to fuck you. And if I'm the Jets, I go, I respect that, and you should from your position. You should try. I don't know if it's going to happen, but you should try to do it. If I'm the Giants, I think what they would totally take, and I'm not sure if I would do it if I'm the Jets, is 3, and let's call it 18 for now. I think it's going to be higher than 18, especially based on all the things that are going to happen today.
And you would make that deal?
I wouldn't, I said. I'm saying that's what the Giants ultimately, right? So they say, we want 3 and 2027 first. Jets say no. Then the Giants go, all right, fine. We'll take 3 and 18. Again, I think it's going to be higher than 18, but let's
It'll be about 16, we'll say.
Yeah, sure, 16. I think that's what the Giants say. If you do that, we do it right now. And if I'm the Jets, I'm like, oh, am I giving up 16 to move 1? You better fucking love Dante Moore if that's the case, or whoever the other guy is. If it was Mendoza and Moore went 1, then you better love that guy like nobody's business. You can't settle for that. So I think the Giants would take the 1-1 So 2 ones, and that's better than the Cardinals. Cardinals are picking 5. I could get 2 or 15 or
they
16 or
could.
whatever.
I don't think the Jets should make that deal. I think the Jets
I don't
should
either.
be very desperate to make that deal. I think the Cardinals would be a better option because I could see the Cardinals going off of Murray, keeping Brissett as the bridge, and maybe giving up a 2027 first in addition to the 5th pick. To me, pick 3 and pick 5 aren't really that big of a difference in this draft. I think if you want Carnell Tate, I think he could be had at the 5 pick. Or if you want one of the better defensive players, or maybe Kiko Mauino, his brother, at number 5, he's a guy that could fit there for the Giants.
Do you wait? So if Dante Moore enters his class, do you expect quarterbacks to go with the first 2 picks?
Yeah.
Okay. The intrigue of 3 is that you have the number 1 overall pick of all the non-quarterbacks in this class. I don't know how that valuable that is, but yeah,
I'm fine with that. Again, I still don't think Moore should come out because I don't think he's ready to come out. People always say, "Oh, you're giving up $50 million," but again, does Dante Moore at 20 starts and 20 years old want to sit the bench for 13 games in 2026, or would he rather try to hone his skills and play next year at Oregon and maybe be a top 5 pick in 2027?
The intriguing thing is he did choose that, right? He sat behind Dylan Gabriel, so he made that bench choice before. He could make it again.
I do not. Honestly, if I was him, I would go back to school. That's just me. Okay. A couple more comments.
Yes.
I know that Philly mentioned this the other day. He was praising Caleb Williams.
Yes.
To me, Caleb Williams is as mid as they come. Caleb Williams should kiss the ground that he walks on, that Ben Johnson took that job. Ben Johnson is 50 times more important to the Bears' success than Caleb Williams, okay? Ben Johnson has changed the entire culture of that organization more so than Caleb Williams. So as much as people think, oh, it's the quarterback that's more important than the coach, in that situation, I think it's the coach that's more important than the quarterback. Again, worst to first was not because of Caleb Williams. Worst to first was because of Ben Johnson. I truly believe it. I hope the Jets get absolutely railroaded today. I hope they get completely blown out. But again, you mentioned it during that 425 window. If I'm a Jet fan, I'd actually keep an eye on the Eagle game. Again, I love Tanner McKee. That's the guy I would go get. And he's going to build himself up to get a 2nd round pick from the Eagles. I think the Eagles can get a 2 for him. I really do.
That's a rental. I don't know if I see that, but okay.
Again, he's making $1.2 million in 2026. And I'd be more tempted to give up the Cowboys 2nd for that player than move up and give up a future 1 to go get Dante Moore and have him sit 16 games.
By the way, yes, Jake, Tanner is starting today. Tanner McKee is the Eagles are resting Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Yeah, Tanner's starting today. But if you're the Jets, and let's say you give up that Cowboys 2 for Tanner, you have to immediately sign him. There's no way you could give up that 2 and play it out. And then what does that contract look like? That's a total mystery bag.
I don't think you need to immediately sign him.
For a 2? Oh, yes. If you're giving up that kind of price.
First of all, he's on the books for 2026.
Right.
You don't need to immediately extend him.
Well, then you put the power in Tanner's hand. If Tanner looks great, then you're going to have the franchise tag or something crazy.
You're rolling the dice on a deal.
2's a big roll of the dice. That's a very expensive resource.
You take that chance. I would do it. I would give him again. You'd see him early in the season, then you can extend him. Again, I would rather do that than trade up from 3 to 2 and give up a 1st round pick to go get Dante Moore and sit him 16 games in 2026.
Or maybe it works out this way. Again, I think the Jets are going to end up with 2 today. I think the Giants are beating this half-assed Cowboys, and then Jets get their teeth kicked in by Buffalo. They're sitting there at 2. As long as Dante Moore enters the equation, which, again, by all recent insider reports is still 50-50 at best. There's been no decision made, apparently, which I wouldn't either if I'm Dante. Let the college football playoff play out. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe he's going to go win the national championship. If he does, that totally changes your perspective. So let's see whatever happens with his future. But if you're a 2, you don't have to give up bupkits, and that would be ideal for the Jets.
Up future capital,
of course, and respect. I understand that perspective.
People are willing to give up 1s to move up to go get a guy who's going to sit, let's say, 12 to 13 games in 2026. I'm just not that guy.
Fair enough.
And finally,
yes,
all this talk on Kyler Murray, no, please no. Kyler Murray has very little interest in being a great football player. I truly believe it.
Even if he gets cut, you have no interest?
I have no interest.
Okay.
None. Zero. I don't think Kyler Murray is really motivated to be great. And if you're going to give a guy, let's say, $15 to $20 million next year, because that's what he's going to get, even if he
I don't think so. Well, here's why.
Get at least,
he wants to stick Arizona. If he gets cut, whatever you pay him pays into what Arizona would pay him. So he could get dirt cheap and say "fuck you" to Arizona.
I don't think he's going to play for under $10 million. And again, I just don't like.
But he gets the money anyway, though. So like, if I don't have his contract in front of me, but he's owed like something like $50 million or something. So like, if the Jets signed him, or any team for that matter, Jets wouldn't be the only team that would potentially be in the mix. They signed him for veteran minimum. He gets $54.9 million in the Cardinals, and he makes the others penny pinch for the Jets. He's getting his money either way. Why wouldn't he play for under 10?
You've watched him over the last year and a half. Is that correct, Paul?
I have, yes.
Do you think he's motivated to be great, honestly?
That I don't know. I don't get that vibe. Right, sure. Yeah. That's what I told Philly. The leadership questions scare me.
I think he's a team cancer. I truly believe that.
And if that's true, obviously the Jets shouldn't bring him in.
And people bring up Anthony Richardson. Yeah, no, I don't need either of those guys. Okay. I'd rather go with the unknown, a guy who has upside, than a guy who's made his money, will come here and is not motivated to be great. I just don't think he really cares anymore. And when you go and gamble on a guy that doesn't give a shit, it makes no sense. But always a pleasure, Paul. And I hope they get absolutely destroyed today and makes the owner think about one and done in Glenn. Again, Glenn should not be here next year. And if you have any thought in your head about whether to keep him or you fire him, the obvious choice is to can him and start anew and attract free agents this offseason. Again, they have about $90 to $100 million in free agent money, in cap money. Mm-hmm. You think players are going to want to come here when you have a coach that's a dead man walking? No, absolutely not. They're going to have to overpay for players, overpay for tier 1 guys, overpay for tier 2 guys. They're not going to want to come here knowing that Glenn might be on a really short leash. And if he starts the season, let's say 1-6, he'll be gone. And these players are going to be like, I didn't sign up for this crap. So again, if you're thinking about whether to keep him or whether to fire him, you can him, you start anew, and this job becomes really attractive with all the draft capital and with all the cap space. Always a pleasure, Paulie.
There he is, Alon. That's the one thing I will agree with, Alon. It doesn't happen often, but every once in a while it does. If that's true, if Woody is hedging, right? Let's say there's a lean towards keeping Glenn, but he's like, I'm not 100% committed. If that's true, and he has any inkling or significant inkling that, boy, this Glenn guy, not so sure, and then that scenario presents itself. Alon's right, they're 1-5, 2-4, whatever it is. I don't even know. Just made up the record that looks terrible. They're 0-7 again, right? And Woody goes, fuck this guy. Boom, fires him. If you're not pot committed to AG, you shouldn't bring him back to just fire him. I think that's where Woody made a mistake on Saleh. That when he decided to fire him after week 5 last year, to me, you weren't committed to Robert Saleh, because it wasn't even record then for the Jets, because they were playing for first place in the AFC East in week 6 on Monday Night Football. So that wasn't even the factor. But if you weren't committed to him, then you should have ripped the Band-Aid off the previous offseason, because obviously you weren't committed to him. So if the Jets are not committed to Aaron Glenn, that's the point where everyone says, Paul, are you an AG truther, or you are this or that? That's why I say, yes, you should fire AG. If you don't believe he's the guy, and there's a strong voice in your head that's saying that, and you could fire him the next season if things go somewhat sideways or for whatever reason, then you're better off ripping the Band-Aid, then you're better ripping it off now than playing around going into next year and blowing up an entire year. But to me, I don't think Woody feels that way. They're going to keep him, and I think he is strongly committed to him. So there you have it. All right, let's get one more phone call in here before we wrap up. This is one of our longer game day shows. Go figure, it's a Week 18 version. We got Mr. Famous Fulton here on the show.
Morning, Paul. Happy belated New Year to you.
Oh yeah, same to you. I see we got rid of the disco outfit. Who's that? You and your dad or something?
No, it's my my physical therapy doctor.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Oh, yes. Now I can see it with the name tag. Oh, I see. Okay. So how is that physical
Yes.
therapy going?
Well, it's completely finished.
Oh, great.
So I guess it went pretty well.
Excellent.
I'm still doing some exercises right now.
Okay.
So he wants me to not cross my legs. So I'm trying to focus on that, and um, yeah, so it's a big step, and then I'm gonna try to do a workout coming up soon. Yeah, so it's gonna be difficult for me, so I can
Okay.
get ready for basketball this year.
All right. Well, just keep fighting the good fight there, Mr. Famous Fulton.
Yep. Did you have a good New Year's?
I did. I got to watch Stranger Things with my fiance, spend some time with the fam. So, blessed be he. It was a lot of good time with the family.
Yeah, it was.
How about
It was
yourself?
a good
You do
time with
anything?
my family.
You do anything?
Well, we stayed home and watched the New Year's ball and
Oh, cool.
just relaxed and everything. So.
Oh, good. Nothing wrong with that. Great. A little R&R action. Terrific.
Yep. And my physical therapy doctor, Dr. Andy,
Yes.
he had a little piece of paper and he wanted me to sign for my YouTube channel, and he said, "You're the famous Fulton Miraz ever."
Wow, that's cool.
So he signed.
Wow.
I signed the paper.
Okay.
And he printed it off, and he wanted me to sign it. So he is gonna have his own. He's gonna subscribe to my channel, so he's gonna check it out.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. I hope everyone checks it out, Mr. Famous Fulton. You're super famous. Everyone should be checking out your channel.
Yep. So I got an interview this coming up Tuesday, so you might want to be ready for that.
Okay. Amen. All right. Well, we can't wait for it. So,
And IU just won. IU just won the game, so we're ready for Friday.
Yeah, that's it, baby. I'm rooting for IU. Go Mendoza. Go Mendoza. He's our boy.
So, what do you think about the score predicting for Friday?
Oh, Indiana's going to win, obviously.
So, what would the score be for
the
IU?
score be? Let's go Indiana 31, Oregon 18.
That'll be a good one.
Boom shakalaka. Thanks, Mr. Famous Fulton.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
There he is, Mr. Famous Fulton, baby. Yeah.
Jets, Jets.
Hey now, let's get another phone call in. Look, James is back, baby. What's up, James?
What's up, BG? Can you hear me?
You're loud and clear, brother.
All right, brother. Listen, Lord forgive me. It's his day.
Yes, of
right?
course.
Fuck this guy, Alon. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This guy, I've never met a man always waiting for the other shoe to drop more than this guy. He is. What exactly are you? So he's waiting for what? The 2027 draft?
That's
to
correct.
draft a quarterback?
Yeah.
So he wants to go through this again next
Apparently.
year.
Yeah. That's right.
That's insanity to me.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head and fathom it. I'm tired of the losing.
Me too.
If Fernando Mendoza is there, I'm not saying give up the ship. I'm not saying anything like that. But if he's there, we got to take this kid. And guess what? If we miss, you know what the best part about it is? We have 3 other fucking chances the following year.
100%. Yeah.
So, like, I caught the tail end. I don't want to be too much of a dick. But what is he proposing exactly?
Well, he believes that if the Jets have to give up anything of note, he doesn't want them to, like, he wants the Raiders to get the pick so the Jets don't have a chance. If the Giants have the number one pick, they would potentially trade us the number one pick. The Raiders wouldn't, is basically his take. So he wants the Raiders to keep the pick so we have no chance to get Mendoza because he wants us to keep the picks. And again, to your overall point, he wants us to wait to 2027. And someone just said it in here, Alon. Who said that? There it is. It's from Jay Reeves. He says Alon wants the Jets to suck forever.
He does.
Yeah,
he does. This guy, it's perpetual. It's perpetual negativity with this man.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely, utterly insane. It's always looking at the next draft class. Watch, if 2027 doesn't work out, you wait till you see the 2028, 2029 draft. It's gonna knock your socks off. It's can't miss. It's always, you know what I mean?
That's
I
true.
can't take it anymore with the guy. And I want nothing. I want him to be the right answer. Doesn't care who says it. I don't give a shit where we get him, how we get him, as long as we get him. And I'm sorry to throw in the negativity. I just had to pop on, Paul. And
Thanks,
yeah, that's it, brother. We'll talk soon.
That was one of the funniest things I've ever heard. It's the Lord's Day, of course. But fuck Alon. Wow, that was hilarious. That was funny. That got me. I'm tearing up a little on that one. That one was funny. Well, thanks everybody for a final game day show. Again, we don't have an off season, so Boy Green Daily is back tomorrow morning. We will be talking draft, so that's awesome. So we will have draft. We'll have again Damian Parson on DP. He covers a ton of NFL draft. You see him on Bleacher Report, Draft Network, a lot of places. He'll be joining us at 8:00 tomorrow morning to talk draft. So I'm very much looking forward to that. We'll catch up on that. We have, again, Jets don't play at 1 today. Jets do not play at 1 today. I know a lot of people are going to be tuning in at 1. They do not play at 1 today. They play at 4:25. So our pregame show, or excuse me, we just did the pregame show. Our live watch party is going to come on around 4:10, 4:15, somewhere in that range. And then we'll be going on there for that. So it'll be in the 4-ish range. And then post-game show will be coming on around 7:30, 8 o'clock, somewhere in that ballpark. Here. Oh, wait. Before we go, we need a response to James and the Giant Peach. Alon's back here on the program. Oh, with a new hat. Nice.
Yeah, I love putting on new hats. Okay, so let me ask you a question, okay? and it's between me and you. I don't give a shit what he says. It's fine. You can kill me all you want, okay?
All right.
Paul, the Giants have the number 1 pick. The Jets have the number 3 pick.
Okay.
The Jets call the Giants.
Yep.
The Giants are like, we are not trading the pick unless we want your 1 this year. We want the Colt pick, and we want your number 1 next year. What is your answer?
You can have the worst of our 3 number 1s in 2027.
No, this is the Giants and the Jets, okay?
Yeah, I'm negotiating with the Giants.
There's no negotiation. We're not playing footsie, okay? This is the Giants and the Jets, okay? People don't understand the Giants do not want to help the Jets, okay?
Why?
They don't.
We're friends.
People are morons here. They think the Giants actually want to help the Jets.
Okay? Why wouldn't they? We can help each other.
Think about this. If you're a Giant fan, you think you want to help the Jets?
Well, if that would get me the best capital, why not?
No, the Giant fans love the fact that the Jets are more. Well,
that's probably true. Okay. I'm sure they enjoy that.
Here's the comment again, okay? Yeah. Please. You want to trade. They call the Jets. We want your 1. We want your number 3. We want your Colts pick, and we want your number 1 next year.
Oh, our number 1. So not the
no
Colts.
Negotiation.
I see what you're saying. I just didn't understand which number 1 you were asking for in 2027.
The highest one.
Now, the highest one.
Yeah,
so is it the highest one or ours?
No, the highest one, which will be ours.
Oh, no, I renegotiate.
Okay. So then when you listen, so when that moron calls and screams at me, I'm thinking logically, I'm not trading 3 number 1s for a guy that I don't think is going to be a franchise quarterback.
Oh, I would give 3 number 1s, but I just wouldn't give my best 1 in 2027. That's what they'll ask for, but we can negotiate. We can go
There's no negotiation. None. Zero.
No one else can beat our offer of 3 number 1s over the next 2 years.
They are not going to do it.
What do you mean they're not going to do it?
They are not going to make the trade.
And if I call the bluff, what else are you going to do, Giants?
They're going to call Arizona and make that.
They don't have 3 number 1s over the next 2 years.
They are not going to do the deal.
But they can't. But whose offer are we beating? So Arizona can't do it. The only team that could do it is Cleveland, and Cleveland is further back. And our number 1 is top 18. Our second number 1 is top 18. Their number 1 is going to be in the 20s.
They are going to they're going to trade the number 1 pick to the Jets, the Giants, at double what it's worth.
Who? Wait, what?
The Giants will ask for 200% of what
they should ask for a moon in the stars, but that doesn't mean they're going to get it.
Hang up the phone, and
then who are they trading to? The Cardinals for less? That doesn't make any sense.
They are going to want 3 number 1s, and they will get 3 number 1s, and I don't want to give 3 1s.
So you're saying that the Jets
they will take less from Arizona?
No, they won't.
They will.
Come on, Alon.
They will.
They would take the best offer. The Jets have made deals with the Patriots before. If the offer's the offer, they'll take the offer.
They are not. 3 number 1s.
Come on,
3
man.
number 1s.
I'm willing to do 3 number 1s, but not my best one in 2027.
Hold on, no. So you're willing to trade 3 number 1s for Mendoza?
100%.
Oh my God!
Hold on. I love Mendoza.
You gotta be kidding. You're serious?
100%. And again, but negotiation. I'm getting the worst one in 2027. Yeah,
is a system quarterback that to me has
Tom Brady was a system
if
quarterback.
He does not have a great running game. He's
got a great running game. We got Brees. We got Brees.
Got a great running game. Brees is not going to be here.
We got Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
Got our offensive line.
Okay. Hold on. You trust Mendoza with this coaching staff? Really?
Well, we're going to hire some new guys around Tanner Inks.
Yeah, great. Come on. You're trading 3 number 1 draft picks for Fernando Mendoza.
I'm trading 3 number 1s to my firstborn son to get Fernando Mendoza.
My God.
Come on, man.
So when he becomes the 15th or 16th best quarterback in the league, what are you going to say?
When he becomes the number 1 best quarterback, what are you going to say?
He's not. He's a good boy. He's not going to be a great player. He's a very good player.
He's going to be holding a lot of awards in his career. MVP.
Hold on. Let me ask you
pros.
Would you rather have Mendoza or Drake May?
Mendoza.
Paul.
Mendoza, of course.
Paul.
Come on.
Mendoza. Paul, you want to do another bet? I can shave the entire face again.
No, I'm not doing any of those. I've learned my lesson. Okay. It took a while to grow this back, by the way. Still a lot of work left to be done.
You would not take Mendoza over Drake May. You really would not. You can't.
Who knows? I don't know.
Paul,
that's a hypothetical situation.
Paul, you can't be serious with that one. You can't.
Who knows? Hey, look, James is back.
Alon.
What's going on, James?
Hey, buddy. Listen, I apologize to go a little too hard.
That's fine. I don't mind you ripping on me.
My question to you is, right?
Sure.
What exactly are you looking to get out of this year's draft? What is your end game from the 2020, the upcoming draft? What are you looking to get?
Okay. I see a 3-14 team with holes everywhere. Okay. The first and foremost is I do not want to trade present or future capital to move up for either of these quarterbacks. So for me, trading a 2027 first is non-negotiable. I am not trading any of those picks. Okay.
Would you trade the like Paul said, would you trade the least of the value of that? No, you wouldn't.
I would not trade any of the 2027 firsts.
Would you package any of the seconds?
I would trade a second to move up. I would. One of the seconds. I would not trade anything else.
Do you like Mendoza?
I do. I don't love Mendoza. I know.
You like Dante Moore better?
I like Dante Moore. The reason is I'm scared of Dante Moore because he's only had 20 starts in college.
Okay,
fair. Very fearful.
So
go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I cut you.
And I truly believe if the things remain status quo and the Giants pick 2 and the Jets pick 3, the Giants will not trade with the Jets unless you get a 1 up.
So I personally, I agree with you on that aspect. I don't think that the Giants have any interest in giving us anything that will progress our franchise. I do believe that. Okay. I'm not arguing with that. I do believe that because there's a thing, right? There's a thing. My brother-in-law is a diehard Giants fan, and they don't like us, and personally, I don't like them.
Yeah.
However, if this kid falls to us at 3,
to us is completely different than trading assets. I've never said anything about them not picking him if he fell to us. But again, I told Paul this. if the Giants get the 1 pick and we get the 3 pick,
yeah,
they will ask for 3 number 1s to move up.
You
and
think so?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to ask my fiance for all kinds of things. That doesn't mean I'm going to get it.
Absolutely.
They're not. First off, they're not getting 3 number 1s. Yeah,
Then they're not going to get. They're not going to get the Jets. Then they're not going to trade with the Jets. They will offer the Jets.
Who's going to move up? But Alon, who's going to? We have more draft capital than anyone. Who's going to satisfy that offer? Nobody.
I think they would rather trade with the Cardinals and get a 1 this year, a 1 next year, and a 2 this year than make the trade with the Jets.
And where's Kyler Murray going?
I think Kyler Murray is going to get cut.
But Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett is going
to. You think they're going to cut him for Jacoby Brissett, Alon?
No, I think they're going to go get a quarterback. I think Jacoby Brissett will be their bridge. He's the perfect bridge for that team. And Murray will get cut. And I have no interest in Murray on the Jets. None. Zero.
I'm a fan with you on that. I think it's too polarizing. I don't want him because I think
James, people have said for years that I don't want the Jets to win. That I want them to lose all the time.
Alon, I've heard you for years. With all due respect, I don't think you want the Jets to win.
I actually do, but I want them to build it correctly. And when you have all this draft capital,
right?
I would rather build this for 2027 than 2026.
And I'm a fan of that. But every year, Alon, we could say, well, this year draft didn't work out, but next year is going to be it's always in the draft. It's always next year. Sometimes you got to fucking take your shot.
But the difference is you have 3 number 1. Sorry, I think he's frozen.
Yeah, I think
but the difference is you have,
which is a good look, by the way. Shout out to James here.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
But the difference is you have. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's
frozen
solid.
50 times worse. So I'm not going to argue.
That's okay. But go ahead. Yeah.
But the difference between that is the Jets have 3 number 1s in 2027. No one ever dreamt the Jets would have 3 number 1s in 2027. That's what they have. Okay. People like you're looking next year and the year after. I never in a million years thought the Jets would have 3 number 1s in 2027. They're in such an envious position in 2027 with 3 number 1s that they can maneuver anywhere. And that's the problem. If you're the Giants and let's say they stay status quo and the Giants are 2 and the Jets are 3, at minimum, the Giants will want one of the 2027 firsts. And to me, that's non-negotiable. I'm just not going to do it. And I'm not going to do it for a guy that I will most likely have to sit the entire year in 2026. I would.
Don't you want it to work out no matter what? So if you told me, hey, Paul, he's going to have to sit a big chunk of the season, but it's going to work out long term, then okay, I'll sacrifice whatever those games are. And sacrifice it. Let me rephrase my wording. If Brady Cook are your sacrificing it, if you have a competent veteran, whoever that person is, we're all going to debate for months who we think that person is. But then that person, if he can help us win games while the guy's marinating behind the scenes, then God bless America. Great. Tyler Shuck. Now they didn't trade up anything crazy. He just fell into their laps in the second round. But he marinated, and then when he was ready, even though it cost him a bunch of wins early, it ended up working out. Tyler Shuck looks great.
The difference is Tyler Shuck is 26 years old.
Hey, come on.
That's the big
age
difference.
Is just a number.
Okay,
Come on.
it's a big number. Okay, Dante Moore has 20 starts in his career.
He's 6 years younger. He could be Tyler Shuck's son.
Starts.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay, 20 starts. That's why I'm more intrigued by trading a 2 for McKee because he's been around the building for 3 years. That's the big difference. And you're not sacrificing any of your 1s. Again, trading any of the 1s in 2027 in what's considered a generational draft. I know people like, sorry.
No, James just
sorry, I'm an idiot. My phone died. I apologize.
We're plugged in now. Great.
Yeah, so we were talking, you were just talking about Dante Moore.
You're talking about next year and the year after. I get it. But I never thought in a million years the Jets would have 3 number 1s in 2027. That is so different than anything I ever. If the Jets only had 1 number 1 in 2027, I can understand your point. The idea that they have 3 number ones in a loaded class.
It's exciting, but
it's
exciting,
Alon, and that's why I don't want to trade any of them in this draft.
And I'm with you on that, but Alon, like, how many years have we heard can't miss draft, can't miss draft, can't miss player, can't miss this, and it misses. You know, this thing is not a perfect science. We can't judge what's inside these kids' heads. You know, they can have all the talent in the world, but they're fragile. Like, you never know with this draft. Yes, it helps to have as many picks and as many, you know, bullets in the chamber as possible. But at some point, we gotta have our conviction. And if Mendoza's our guy, and he's and they're convicted, you gotta pull the trigger. That does not mean forfeit the future for it. But for me personally, I think this kid hits in New York, and here's why. I think that, you know, he has that little, whatever you want to call it, corny. I don't give a shit what you call it. To me, to me though, but to me, guys, that's real. That's him.
Genuine, authentic.
That's genuine, and that's him. And if you have, because guys can see through that. Anybody, I don't care if you're playing sports, if you're in business, you can see when a guy is genuine or when he's just putting on an act. And this kid is really about football. He's really about family, and he's really about his craft. And to me, that's exciting. Do I say get rid of, 2 first-rounders for him? No, but I would love this kid to somehow fall to 3. But the Giants do have a lot of people that are going to be begging for that first pick. I agree with that. But
James, this is a Jets channel, but you have to think about it from a Giants perspective. You think the Giants, with their fan base, is going to give the Jets Fernando Mendoza unless they pay an arm and a leg?
Personally, no, I agree with you on that. I don't think
that's why I think this is null and void, because I think if the Giants have the number 1 pick, they are never trading him with the Jets unless the Jets pay up the ass to go get him.
So what are you looking for? This year's first and a first next year?
That is what they're going to want.
Yeah, I can't.
Then that's what I've been saying all along. Again, I have no problem if the guy fell to us. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never said I had a problem if he fell to us. The problem is you're 3-14 with holes everywhere. The idea of trading 3 number 1s in totality to a Giant team.
Where are we getting 3 number 1s?
I'm talking about our own number 1, the Colt number 1, and a number 1 next year. That's 3 number 1s.
For the top pick he's talking about, not 3 to 2, not 3 to 2, 3 to 1.
3 to 1.
3 to 1.
Yeah, to clarify, just to
3 to 2. I think it would take a 1 next year to move.
Paul, what do you think?
What do I think? If we're going from 3 to 2, first off, if I'm being honest, I think we're going to end up with 2 today. I think the Jets are going to get their fucking teeth.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
The Giants beat the Cowboys. Thus, we're at 2, Raiders are at 1. I think Raiders are 100% taking a quarterback, but which one? Who knows? Right now, it's Mendoza, but it could be Dante Moore by time. I don't know what's going to happen. And then if you're at 2, you're guaranteed to a launch point. You don't have to trade shit. You get whichever other one is available that goes to 2.
I'd be fine with it.
But if to move up to 3 to 2, I would not give up another number 1. I think you can play the 2 game. Now, again, if there's this mysterious thing that the Giants don't want to trade with the Jets, I don't buy that. I believe that they would trade with them.
Why don't you think we could play the 2? Why not?
You talking about from 3 to 2?
3 to 2.
Yeah.
Why can't it be?
Yeah, 3 to 2.
Arizona will offer more.
All right, well, we'll get into that debate.
Well, you know what the best part about this is? This is a fucking crapshoot. We have no idea what's going to happen, and we're in a let's put it this way: we're in an envious position. Maybe not the top envious position, but we have so many things that we can work. And Muji, I don't know. I trust him. He's pulled some strings, so we'll see what happens. But James? I just had to get on, and Alon, I respect your opinions. BG, love you, bro. And talk soon, guys.
There he is, James. And Alon, appreciate the second appearance of the second hat.
No
You're the
problem.
best pal.
I got called out. I thought I'd call in. That's
there fine. You go. There he is. He's the man. Alon joining us. 2.5 hours of Boy Green Game Day episode. Again, we'll be back on in the 4 o'clock hour. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. On the way out, make sure you guys like the video. That's how it spreads the gospel of all things Boy Green Daily. And like I said, we're 7 subscribers away from 8,270. So make sure you guys join the growing army. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We got a lot to get to. We'll see you then. Take